talk about whatever we want.
Shaka Khan. Your turn. It's just me and Mad so far.
I mean, do we need anyone else?
Nah. I really do like that. I really do. It's one of my favorite intros to have done. I love the music in it and everything else. So.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Sporking News Podcast, Humpty Dump. That's right, kids. Welcome to the dump. We're very excited. We got friends, we got family, we got humans, we got people in our fellowship joining us this evening to talk about some stories that, well, Scott thought we might want to talk about today. What do you think, Matt? What's going on with you?
He's not the boss of me. We'll talk about whatever we want.
Well, sounds good. In fact, I was actually told that one time, and I really do need your help today to hold down the line because we have a very unruly panel joining us today. And I have to tell you, I don't think we can handle a show just the two of us with this many people on it.
The two of us. By the way, no, I didn't start anything with that.
Sorry.
Didn't Scott recruit two new people and he was like, "Hey, I'm Scott." No, guys, come on, you can be on Wednesdays. Yeah, just join. I'm Scott. That's my impression of Scott.
Wow, you don't do a very good Scott, but that's okay. So
I feel like it was pretty good, Scott. Sporking. R.R. Martin is going to finish both books before he dies.
Yeah. Doesn't he have a higher voice like that? Doesn't Scott kind of talk a little bit like the guy from Daily Wire? Yeah, doesn't he kind of have that same kind of delivery? Kind of like that.
Oh, I don't know about that. I mean, if anything, it's more like what's his name from MTV News? No. Carson Daly?
I don't know. Who's that exactly?
You don't remember MTV News?
No.
Well, all right. So there was because
before
dude.
Carson Daly, there was Keith Loader.
Yeah. He was the one that was like,
awesome.
hey, Joel, your grammar in your poetry is garbage.
Yeah. Kurt Loader was for real, dude. Look, we got Cody Guy hanging out with us. What's up, Cody Guy? We got Parrot Head. What's up, buddy? Good to see you. I think Mama and baby are doing well based on what I've heard from Scott directly.
Don't care about this new baby. Takes too much of his time away from us.
I don't know about that. But Keely Chow is here, suffering through bat whammon. We got Mock and he draws. Mock is getting close to 1,000 kids. Try to support him, please. He has rebranded himself Metal Runner. Is he going to start?
That picture, it looks like he's the next contestant on Guts, Nickelodeon's Guts. Remember that show?
No.
Come on, these references are golden. You don't remember Guts on Nickelodeon?
Nick, Nickelodeon. That's what I remember.
Do you remember Temple of
Doom? Yeah, it was a great film.
Oh my God, no, it was called The Temple. It was on Nickelodeon.
No.
Whatever. You know what?
But
This is
who
what
knew
we're
the
doing.
salt must flow is here hanging out with us, of course. The ever lovely Tina Bojan is here with us as well. E. Clay Thomason rhymes with umpty. Yeah.
Shapiro, yeah. Shapiro, when you talk up here and you want to make somebody look really stupid, you take a couple moments in between the things that you're saying, and you really emphasize them, and then people will take you more seriously.
I like him.
He's awesome. I just was saying, it's hard to pull off a Sporking impression. Yeah, I don't know how you do that.
I do it all the time. It's too easy. It's like this. I'm Scott. I have a lot of babies. See, done.
Well, 3 so far.
6.
You can't make any more. Marx is like, perfect timing. I put it 1.5 to catch up as you raised your voice pitch. It's funny as heck. Keely Chow, how's it going, my friend? Legends of the Hidden Temple.
That's it. Thank you, Keely.
Bone. I have not seen Bone in a hot minute. What's going on?
Hey, Bone. Yeah, I've seen Bone in a minute.
Yeah. Comrade Roof in the Based. Stephen King turned into such a D-bag once it became unsafe to do cocaine.
Was there a safe time to do cocaine?
Well, right now it's laced with fentanyl.
Oh, yeah.
Parrothead says more like he's next up in a gray prawn gaga baga. Wow, Parrothead. It's really early for me to say these things on the stream.
I'll say them. I don't care.
No, well, it's not your channel. You got to be respectful of the channel.
He didn't give me control of it, so.
Double Dare was better.
Then what? Then
Legend of the Hidden Temple.
Okay, I'll give you that one. But Guts was like the all-time, and I don't know why he's not sharing my screen.
I will in a second. Darius Münchausen uses a member chat. He's been a member for 4 months at the hot pie level. Says, hail, Sporking Sporkerz. Well, hail to you, my friend. He follows that up with a super sticker, which I'm going to bet is a box of popcorn. Thank you, Darius Münchausen, for the diaper support that Scott desperately needs. Those of you who send the super chats know that your money is going into disposable products to catch feces.
It could be other things. It could be like diaper genie linings.
Oh, whoa! What is this?
Will Robin the Lizard Rex wrote do the any crocodile?
This is Guts, dude.
Okay.
On that one.
Okay. All right. Okay, we're gonna get claimed, but that's amazing.
All right, and so
it was like American Gladiators for like kids.
For kids?
Man. Yeah, I wanted to be on there so bad.
Yeah, as an adult, I would have whooped their asses. So, yeah.
Dude, I think we've talked about this before. You know what I want? I'll let you do that, chat.
Bone for $2 says, "Let's go, Brandon."
By the way, that's going to get banned eventually, where you're not allowed to say it.
Why?
Anyway,
I know somebody named Brandon.
So, nope, no one's missing.
Nobody's missing. Yeah.
Welcome to Wednesday with Mad and Culture Part 2.
Wednesday Live Smarts Paranormal Dump.
Yeah. Damn it, you threw me off. Oh, so I talked about this before. Like, you know what I would love to see come back? Remember, and for a long time I thought I made this up in my head, but remember that show where like kids would be in Toys R Us and like you had your cart and whoever had the most amount of stuff, like at the end
they won the stuff.
Yeah, dude, I would love, not for kids, can I say F them yet? F them, right? Because they wouldn't appreciate it. 2, I want it. So 3, what? I don't know what all this is. Anyways.
Oh, Fredlid Grunt Bugly, thy macerations are to Mia's plural gabbled blotchits on a lurgid bee.
Man, you threw me off for that garbage. Anyway, no. So like, what I would want it to be though, I would want it to be retro. Like if you go into Toys R Us, it is all the toys from like the 90s. You know what I mean? Dude. You have Sega Genesis, Nintendo NES. Like all the X-Men figures, right?
Touchdown.
The whole store would be
Star Wars figures.
Yeah, the whole store would be retro 90s from like, you know what I mean? From like that golden age of
from
being a kid.
From like 84 to like
Yak
like
backs,
94.
talk boys. Yeah.
Oh, it'd be amazing. We should sponsor that. You know.
But yeah, no.
Make
So
that
like, yeah, as an adult, by the way, what I would do, I would go to electronics because Sega, like Genesis after Sega Genesis. Oh, Sega CD. I'll grab that too.
That was awesome. Yeah. Bring Kenner back. I agree. Great toys start here. I remember Wild and Crazy Kids on Nickelodeon back in the day.
Oh, that had Omar Gooding in it. Omar Gooding, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s brother. Not making that up.
Yeah. Banning that phrase will truly strip the emperor of his clothes. Foxtrot, Juliet, Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
No one appreciates Vogon poetry.
No, they don't. Nor should they.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not even sure what Vogon is. It sounds nerdy.
It is. It's from the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy and all the books Douglas Adams put together in
I
that
was
universe.
really thinking Star Trek, but okay.
No, he hates Star Trek. This guy.
Who?
This guy.
Well, how am I supposed to know that? All he does is insult me. We never have a conversation.
All right. You can't say that. Or you can't do that on television. Can't say that on television. Yeah. Well,
What, that Vogon poetry shit?
I
Thank
don't know,
God.
but I think it's Let's Go Brandon, I think. And thank you for the Let's Go Brandon cheers. I'm good with those, by the way. I'm fine with it.
Anyway,
All right.
I want all my energy.
You had energy? Oh, this was such a great point in the book. What does a whale think about when one falls through the sky? What is this? Oh, I'm going to call it wind. Yeah. Oh, look at that down below. It's coming up fast. I'm going to call it the ground. I wonder if we'll be friends. Splat.
Well, so all that hinges on whether or not a whale has the capability of having such complex thoughts of like, what is this and what is that, rather than just, reacting through like the nuance, like the neurons and shit gets firing, and that's why it does what it does. Like, rather than having these complex questions.
If anybody walked in during this, they were going, "What? What?"
I'm just saying, what does a whale question its own existence?
Yeah. What's the answer? What's the answer to life, the universe, and everything?
Jesus.
42.
No, he was 34.
Yes, and what passed through the minds of the pot of petunias was, oh no, not again. That's right, dude. You guys are on fire. Everybody knows this stuff.
I know.
Yeah, and I don't think Wookiee is. Wookiee's one of those fans that it's like you know how they used to say Primus sucks. If you were a fan of Primus.
Don't know who Primus is.
Wow. Does the whale even give a damn? Not long enough for him to know. Let's just put it that way. All right. So beyond that, we actually have a show to do. We have things we can talk about. Stuff and things. Well, no, but I mean, like, we have topics.
I mean, I was enjoying the conversation about whether or not a whale can, contemplate like his own existence or its own existence. Yeah.
Well, Deep Thought said, you asked me for the answer, but you didn't ask the question. Maybe you didn't know what the question was. I'm luring hard. I think you mean you're lurking, but thank you. Yeah. Yes, I guessed right. The Fellowship should do a Douglas Adams special amongst channels. I agree with you, much like the Band of Brothers stuff. I think we could do an excellent
that I am excluded from. Yeah.
Dude, you would be perfect.
You think I would?
No, wait. Let me finish. There's 2 books he wrote called Dirk Gently's Holistic Detective Agency. I think you would be a good Dirk Gently.
Yeah, I've always said that. Like, I've always said, if anyone's Dirk Gently, it's me.
Gently. Dirk Gently. Yeah, I think you would be. I think you would be a good detective in that style. I think you would be able to carry off that character. I believe I can fly. Okay.
I like this Gotham City song better. I don't know if you remember that from Batman and Robin. Gotham City. Remember?
No.
City of Justice, City of Love. Yeah.
No. But I
You
do
don't-
know this.
oh, man, it's great.
Nina Infinity has a show. It's called Infinite Talk with John Talks.
I've
on
never been
RevKev.
invited.
You should be. I think you would enjoy that.
I've never been on a stream with John. I've seen him
Really?
around.
John's
Yeah.
a nice guy. You should get to know him. He's a good dude. Like him a lot. Dirk Gently. E. Clay Thomason.
I guess got that one. What? You're out your damn mind. Kids today, dude. They just don't get it, man.
Yes, he did study endangered animals, amongst other things. He was a cool dude. But let's get to a story, shall we?
I mean, yeah, man.
What seems to be the longest running story, despite the fact that the federal government on a daily basis is doing ridiculous stuff that a lot of people should go to prison for. It's the story about Netflix. From our friends at Bounding into Comics, Josh writes a story that was available today. It says Channing Tatum says he hates how Dave Chappelle has hurt so many people with his comedy routines.
Come on, Channing, dude. I've been in his corner for so long. Like everyone that's like, oh, dude, he'd make a horrible Gambit. I'm like, dude, I think he would make a great Gambit, man. Like he really impressed me in Foxcatcher. I thought he was great in Foxcatcher. That movie sucked, was boring, but I thought he was great in it. Yeah, and then he did that little like that New Orleans, like that Cajun voice that he did in Angry 8. Hateful Eight.
Doesn't he look like he wrestled one too many times without the headgear?
No, his ears look good. What are you talking about?
I don't know. If the wind caught it just right, you think he could Dumbo his way out of someplace?
His ears aren't even that big. I think you're just trying to find things to mock him. That's not working, man. His ears are perfect.
I don't know. But we have a very important person joining us. The ever lovely, incredible voiced Jayne Theory.
Hello.
Greetings. Thanks for joining us. I'm glad you were able to make it. I really appreciate it.
No
What are your
problem.
opinions on Channing's ears?
Oh, my goodness.
They're huge.
Thank you.
What?
Thank you.
Look at it stick out.
Look,
Kind
here's
of like
the
Will
thing.
Smith.
Does Will Smith's ears stick out?
Oh yeah. Will Smith
Yeah.
got some big old
His big
yeah.
ears.
All right. Well, very good. All right. Let's see. We got Rogue Disney is here. Everybody's saying hey to Jayne.
Hello, chat.
Jayne Theory. Jayne. Do you think this Dave Chappelle story is ever going to end?
It will. They'll be on to the next thing. I mean, they're just trying really, really hard right now to get him off Netflix.
They're not.
That's all.
They are, but it's not working. You know, even with Sarandos on the verge of like bending the knee, it doesn't seem to be working, and they're cashing in on it. I mean, this thing is a hot button for people.
Well, and you also see all of these little sort of C-level celebrities coming out too to get their name out there. So I think
Hell yeah,
at this
jump
point,
on it.
it's turned a corner into self-promotion now, which is what it does. So
Yeah, because it's like, I need to virtue signal really hard on this to get noticed again, and that's the problem.
Did they ever release that PSA?
I don't know.
I don't know. I was
Who
looking
cares?
forward to it.
Can't wait. I can't wait. I hope it's as good as Imagine.
Oh,
It is my fault. I am responsible.
I'm responsible. I take responsibility.
That's it. Yeah, I take responsibility for the way others have been treated that are completely out of my control.
Yeah.
Wow, look at this. Kick 44 says, "Hey Jayne, welcome to the Fake Scott Show." That's right.
Thank you.
This is the real Mad and Culture show.
That's right. I am the reverse Scott. I have hair.
The reverse Scott and the co-host.
That's right. Yeah, and the intern actually. Bunch of angry woke folks trying to cancel a black man. So stunning and brave.
Well,
Yee.
Like he said, he's on the wrong side of this one.
Which is weird. But let's
turn the corner. There's a new marginalized society full of white men in dresses.
and well, white blonde ladies apparently. But anyway, Hollywood actor Channing Tatum has revealed that he hates the fact that Dave Chappelle has hurt so many people with his comedy, despite admitting the comedian's words have resonated with him on a personal level in the past.
But how has he? Okay, here's the thing. Yes, your feelings might get hurt when a comedian goes in on your particular group,
Yep.
but they shouldn't get hurt because it's comedy. And for the record, Dave Chappelle goes off on Black people all the time. Like he goes after Black people first in his comedy. He addresses white people. He addresses disabled people. I think he actually had a joke about a disabled person in this same show.
Yep.
No one's talking about that.
No,
It's like you're picking and choosing what you want to be mad about.
Yeah, well, again, as a white person, did I get upset that he went after white people? No. Of course, I'm not really white. I'm like 23,000 things, but I'm white presenting, which is evil.
And that's the other thing too. I mean, we should be past even that, honestly. But
yeah, I know.
you know.
Oh
it's
man,
just
this
too much. It's a
stupid cam
joke.
thing is back. Wrenches. Hurry.
Oh, no. Spammers.
You are weak.
Does this mean Scott's finally made it? He has spammers on his channel?
Yeah.
It's been a couple times.
Really?
Yeah, this one in particular, I don't know.
I think I got it.
I don't have control of the channel, so I can't actually ban it permanently, but
I can hide it on the channel.
yeah, just keep at
That's
it.
what I did.
These people are knuckleheads. All
I
right,
haven't
here we
gotten
go.
any yet.
I'm sorry, Jane, go ahead.
No, I was just saying I hadn't gotten any
Well,
spammers yet.
real-
Oh, well, let me
I-
send
I-
some over for you.
Jay?
Hey, Jay.
Go ahead.
I think that it all comes down to the way that people are no longer identifying like outside of their political and or like social like identities, right? They're so intertwined with what they believe to be right or what they believe to be true that attack on their ideals is no longer an attack isolated on those ideals, but yet it's a personal attack onto them. And when that happens, and it's not only in this, but it's also in religion, when people get so wrapped up into what they believe that any criticism towards whatever that belief may be is a personal attack onto them. So it makes it very personal. And that's the problem. People aren't able at this point, the majority of the people that are complaining are not able to separate their ideals from who they are like personally, right? So they can't see any criticism on what they believe as being criticism on that, but rather a criticism on them personally.
But they're also blowing it up and exaggerating. It's gone
Yes.
from I feel bad because of what you said to what you said is killing people. And that's just, how do you make that leap of logic except to silence someone and by extension, the majority of people probably who just simply disagree with your perspective on society and societal norms and social norms. Like they're trying to shape society. It's something I say all the time. They're trying to reshape society into this genderless mass for whatever reason. And if you, who've grown up your entire life believing science, believing, in gender identity as a traditional evolutionary concept, you're not necessarily going to agree with these people. It doesn't mean that you hate them. It doesn't mean that you want to harm them. It doesn't mean that you won't respect them and even identify them as they choose to be identified. But if you stand up the way he has and just say, look, I think women are women, men are men, and, trans are trans or whatever, that to them is hate speech.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And that's absurd.
Well, and you know what? Batman makes a great point. Any disagreement is taken as a personal attack. And that's true. If you don't
but why take it to the extreme of accusing the person who's made you feel bad, who's made a personal, let's concede that. Let's say it's a personal attack. Why do you have to conflate that with actual violence? That's what I don't understand.
Because it's the only way they can get any weight. They have to show that there's damage and harm. That, and that's the problem is like comedy has always been about pointing out the blatantly obvious in an amusing way. Or it's about pointing out something you didn't think about in an amusing way. I mean, they present information in a way that causes you to think, but it's simultaneously humorous. George Carlin was one of the best at it. Sam Kinison.
Mhm.
A lot of people were able to do it. I think some of the best, Red Fox, because somebody brought him up earlier today. But I mean, you've got Eddie Murphy, you've got Richard Pryor, you've got just so many great comedians. I mean, even Robin Williams. Robin Williams would twist your brain in a knot with what he was able to do. And then you have like the physical comedians that would do the same thing with their linguistics, like the Watermelon Smasher Gallagher, right? You know, in you know, it's just, you have people who challenge you know, a lot of things, and they do it in a humorous way, and that's where we need that room. We need room in that space. Does that make sense?
It does. They open the conversation up. They create dialogue, because I think it was Time Prophet who said that comedy usually attacks someone. It does, but that allows us to laugh about it together and then talk about it, you know, once we leave the show, and have a better understanding of one another. You know, it's
I got to push back on that a little bit, because a lot of the times what you're attacking or what you're commenting on isn't actually people. It is ideals that are being held by people rather than them. And this goes back to what I was saying about separating, you know, your ideals and your belief from who you are as a person at your core. Those should be two entirely separate things, which is healthy, because if you allow your ideals and beliefs to be criticized, you can grow as a person. You can learn, you know, and like in any good debate, like in any debate, it's the person who loses that has the cognitive gain rather than the person that wins, because the person that wins is just reaffirming what he already knew to be true.
Exactly.
Yeah. And
but they only want to hear what they know to be true.
Right. Blazing Saddles is always the perfect example of a comedic film that you couldn't make today, and it was one of the best things ever done, and an incredible commentary if you're paying attention. It was so well done. And you're right, Batman. Well, people's heads would explode, or the people that would be, you know, these particular folks, their heads would explode, because it would challenge everything and it would make them look silly. This is the problem. Comedy makes your point of view, if it's ridiculous, laughable. And everybody has a laugh at, you know, and I'm sorry, sometimes it is at your expense, because you have, you know, you or even at a personal expense. Like, I will laugh at myself. You can't do that, you know. And like I said, that was the best tweet before Daphne got attacked by everybody. You know, he doesn't punch down. He doesn't punch up. He punches lines.
And they picked this show to be upset about, where he's saying exactly that. He's responding to their criticism and saying, this is how I felt. This is where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to hurt anybody, but I will stop. You want me to stop, you know, with the comedy, with the jokes, including you, I will do that.
Yeah.
And that's when they choose to protest.
Yeah, I think Zucker came forward today or yesterday and said this very same thing. He said if the director of Airplane said if it was remade, he would have to remove all of the jokes.
I mean, The Jerk is a perfect example too. There's no way that they would allow a white guy raised by a black family to drop the N-word like it was nothing.
Yeah. And that's the other thing. And of course, Mr. Grant Gregory from Australia is joining us today. How are you doing, sir?
Good, guys. How's everyone?
Doing well. Good. Saw you pop in the chat on Twitch and YouTube. You're fancy.
Yeah, I was just trying to help out the missus with Twitch. Apparently, everyone's videos have been disappearing, and then all of a sudden, I saw you on, and I went, "Oh my god, that's right! I forgot it was on."
Well, it's like Thursday for you, isn't it?
Yeah, Thursday morning.
Yeah, that's what I thought. So I'm like, okay, well, he's up. All right. Well, let's get down through this story a little bit deeper. And again, because Josh put this together, we should read some of it. Here we go. The 21 Jump Street's actors' comments on Chappelle coming after the release of Chappelle's new Netflix special, The Closer, which has been heavily criticized and labeled as transphobic by woke members of the LGBTQ plus community. I understand that Dave. Yeah, I know. I understand that Dave Chappelle is a very dangerous person to talk about at the moment, wrote Tatum in an Instagram story shared to his 17 million followers. I understand and hate that he has hurt so many. Oh, Jesus.
He has to
Hurt so many-
frame it. He has to frame it.
Yeah, with the things that he said. He went on, any human can hurt someone, usually because they're hurt, but any human can heal and heal others just the same. This little piece healed me back in the day. I can't forget that. This does not excuse anything harmful, though, to be clear. Channing Tatum, I guess he's sharing this as I don't even care, and that's obviously a piece from one of his things, and I'm not going to run through that. The clip featured in Tatum's post, originally shared by comedian D.L. Hewley. That's cool. Chappelle can be seen giving his acceptance speech after winning the Kennedy Center Mark Twain Prize in 2019, wherein the comedian told a story about overcoming his childhood fears.
Which he does a lot. He mentions that a lot.
Yeah, my mother used to tell me, son, sometimes you have to be a lion so you can be the lamb you really are. Chappelle recalled this during his speech. I talked this shit like a lion. I'm not afraid of any of you when it comes to word to word. I will gab with the best of them just so I can chill and be me. And he continued. And that's why I love my art form, because I understand every practitioner of it. Whether I agree with them or not, I know where they're coming from. They want to be heard. They got something to say. There's something they noticed. They just want to be understood. I love this genre. It saved my life. So there you are. Sorry, Bear Dog is having the sniffles. Chappelle's new Netflix special successfully managed to trigger the sensibilities of the LGBTQ plus community, who failed to understand that the comedian's routines targeted all demographics
Everybody.
equally. Yep. For example, woke organization GLAAD took offense at the renowned comedians, the closer special, claiming that Dave Chappelle's brand has become synonymous with ridiculing trans people and other marginalized communities. No, he trashed everybody, you silly human.
Everybody. Like, did they not listen to it?
No.
It's transcribed. You can actually read it now.
You can
don't
actually
have to
read it.
watch it. Just read it word for word.
Yep. And then how are you going to get upset? That's the question, especially when he's beating up on white people and everybody. But anyway, negative reviews and viewers loudly condemning this latest special is a message to the industry that audiences don't support platforming. This is such bullshit, because if this is the argument, we would have deplatformed freaking Lucasfilm. Right? Because that thing was a piece of shit. The negative views coming out about that, about the Captain Marvel, us calling out all this stuff, that we were loudly condemning it, and it didn't do anything.
So here's the difference, though, right? Look at what it says: negative reviews.
Yeah.
Like The Last Jedi didn't have very many negative reviews at all, did it? It was like 90%, right?
90% were negative.
Yeah. So that was just alt-right trolls that were
I see.
criticizing. You get what I'm saying? So the difference here is that not only were the critics just appalled by this Dave Chappelle character, but so was 4 or 5 of the people that saw it.
And the 2 people that actually watched the entire thing.
Yeah.
Last week, Netflix Transgender Employee Resource Group, was reported to have planned a walkout in protest of both Chappelle's special and Netflix CEO Ted Sarandos, who openly stated the comedian's stand-up routine would not be pulled from the streaming giant.
Oh, they had nothing to say about cuties, though.
No, not one
that
word.
That
No.
was fine.
Anyway, so we all know that part of the story. Channing Tatum probably shouldn't have put his foot in his mouth here. There's probably more to it, since I didn't read the whole post, nor would I care to, nor do I even look at Instagram anymore. I don't know. What do you guys think?
I think he, like a lot of people, probably felt compelled to say something. I know a lot of actors who don't want to get involved in this stuff just don't say anything. But you should be able to have an opinion on things, especially if it concerns somebody who you consider a friend or someone who inspired you or someone who helped you in a moment of crisis. And it sounds like that's what happened here, that his comedy also helped Channing in some way. And he wanted to stand up for someone who he had respect for. He should be able to do that. He didn't condemn anybody else. No. But he did say, look, if you're hurt, you can heal. And that's true.
I don't know.
But they're going to trash him. They're going to shred him.
How did people get hurt here? I mean, honestly, did he single out somebody other than Daphne or the people that attacked Daphne?
No, he acknowledged, and he is a quote unquote TERF.
Yeah.
And that's what they take issue with.
So,
Exactly.
But again, it gets old because it's true, but you don't have to watch it.
Yeah.
And which I think they in some ways they realize, because they go to the, this will correlate to like real world harm, because people will see it and be like, oh, I'm a turf too, let's get them, somehow. I don't know how, but
Well,
like that happens.
I think that they assume that because he's incredibly popular and he has a following, and because he's standing by his position with respect to that, that it'll give everyone else who agrees with him courage to openly hold to their position. And that costs them ground that they feel they would gain in becoming accepted as real women, quote unquote.
well,
It's
except the
more so
problem
the
is.
fact that
Oh, go ahead.
the
I'm sorry,
ground
Mr.
that
Gregor.
the ground that they expect that they already have. They expect that they should be dominating in every sort of thing, and he's just like no. I mean, I've watched that special twice. I don't think it's his funniest. I
No,
think
it's
this
not.
was purely simply a response. It was a response video.
Mhm.
Everything that he said there, like, I think when you break it down into times, that section was one of the smallest sections that he said when he was having a go at every different sort of group and person. But the fact that he's unapologetic
Mhm.
is the thing that, like, well, normally this works. What are we going to do? We're going to walk out. We're going to do the walkout's not going to do anything. He's already been paid. It's already his last special. This is purely and simply for clout chasing now. No one was hurt when someone got hurt by it. It was his friend, and that's the sad truth about it. They're talking about how it can do real world harm. They're a part of the group that actually caused someone to quote unquote self-delete.
Well,
So I don't understand the real world hurt.
It's not clout chasing. It is a play for more domination on Netflix specifically. Because if you look at the demands that they made
Mhm.
today, in the hundreds, well, a couple dozen, but that's
I
just
haven't
me.
seen all the demands.
I'm bad at
Couple
math.
dozen.
But no, like what they want is even more representation and more say in who is allowed onto this platform. Because they even say, like, if they deem it
Yes.
to be anti-trans, then it should be labeled, and along with it, they should have pro-trans things recommended with it.
And that gets into the issues, the things that you read off today on the Wednesday live stream, Mad, where their list of grievances.
Mhm. That's the problematic part.
And we have this. You know what? I have some grievances. Number one, you're overrepresented at Netflix. You as a population, as a body, are overrepresented. If there are that many trans people working there, you are overrepresented. There is not equality there. There's no equity. You as a fraction of the population, there are too many of you working in one place.
Well,
If we want actual representation, we want actual equality, we need a demographic breakdown that reflects the natural population of the area. That's the only way you have it.
Or you allow for individual and personal choice. Some people may not choose, some people may not want to work at Netflix, but it goes further than that, because it's also overrepresentation in media in general. In 2020, there was a paper put out in England talking about how represented the LGBTQ2AI plus community was on television, and how they have such a higher percentage of being on a television show rather than a straight white male. Like, the percentage is ridiculous.
And that's why he said that he was impressed by how much progress they've made in the last few years compared to how much progress the Black community has made since being here.
Well,
it's just it is in fact amazing.
Well, and it's
how successful their movement has been.
Yeah, well, no, it's because they have willing allies in the media that stand behind them, and they I hate this. I don't want to get into this discussion. It's too political about the how the media uses different groups, and it's disgusting to me, especially when it comes to the Black community.
Well, think about how the narrative has changed from it used to be it was the Black community is overrepresented when it's when it's like presented in media as being poor or as being criminal, right?
Mhm.
And now that has shifted from that. That's no longer a talking point. We never hear anything about that.
Oh,
What
that's not even on the radar screen anymore.
nowhere,
Not anymore.
right? This is probably the first time anyone has even brought it up in years. But my point is that like that used to be a focus, and that was legitimately, I can see
It was disgusting.
yes, I could see like the merits to what they were saying, because it really was true. But now you have a 1% of the population, maybe 1%.
Yeah.
And they represent such a big pie, and they want more. The GLAAD actually came out with their projections on what they wanted to see in representation, and they want a majority
They do.
of shows to have them represented.
Not only that, they also want another fund set aside on top of the fund they already have set aside. Don't even let's step away from that, because I have some thoughtful comments in the chat, including the one that's highlighted. Comedy doesn't hurt anyone unless you want to be hurt. And the family of Daphne did defend Chappelle.
They did.
Yep. And not only that, because the people asked who Daphne is. Daphne was a transgender person that it was a comedian that laughed at everything that Chappelle said during one of his comedy presentations. He then invited her to show up at to open for him at some time. Somebody who just was beginning in the craft. He tells the story about her completely bombing. And then the moment that they really formed a very close friendship. He talks a lot about Daphne, and when Daphne defended Dave, this entire, and I'm using their word, community of LGBTQ plus, not the entire community, there was a decent chunk of humans that attacked Daphne for her stance, even though she was a part of that group. Because you cannot have
wrong thing.
Exactly. You cannot have wrong think. You took the words right out of my mouth. Man, it's frustrating, right? Because, I'm not going to cancel somebody for disagreeing with me. I'm going to, unless you're, talking about the kids stuff, that bothers me, or you're talking about, actual slavery and stuff like that, then we can have some words, but it is what it is. So let's go from there. Just Joe says, just Joe 47 for $2 says, like the counter protester said, jokes are funny. That's right. And here's the funny thing. And Forbidden Ruin brings this up, and I don't know if you guys, we actually were commenting about it on Wednesday Live, Matt, if you remember. Only about 100-ish or so showed up. Where's the other 1,500 they claim?
Yeah, and I think half of that was the counter protesters.
It's hard to say. And this is true. The minority are ruling the majority in almost every area.
Well, and I think it's intentional in this instance. To me, this just stands out as quite unique. Because it is an effort to restructure society. And it's not just media. It would be one thing if it were just media. If it were just entertainment, you could turn the TV off. You don't have to watch the movies. You don't have to do any of that. But it's also trickled into education, into the workplace, in every aspect of society. And that's what makes it so much different from pretty much any other movement we've seen so far. And I don't know what the ultimate end game is, but I know it's not pro-woman or feminist. I don't know what this is. But
which I'm on board for that. Like, the less women we have, like,
we know that. Yeah.
Yeah. And
like,
I just
man, did you see that dude that became the first female 4-star admiral? Another win for the men. Doing it better.
Yeah, well, if they've eliminated Title IX from what somebody said today, but I have to say this. George! There we go. All right. Good to see you, George. Thanks for being here, my friend. And of course,
George!
We were joined by Tom from Midnight's Edge. Midnight's Edge After Dark.
I told Gary was going to be here.
That was last week.
What the fuck?
That was Saturday. You were here.
Yeah, you were here.
I thought that was tonight.
No.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it was good seeing you, Tom. Bye.
Yeah, see you later, Tom.
Yeah, see you. Nah, I'm here. Why ain't George in here? What are you doing, George?
I don't know. What is George doing? But I do know this. This is something
Have you heard that man talk?
Yeah, he's awesome.
He's got the voice like I would listen to read me audiobooks.
Yeah, he's got a great voice. Find your voice and use it, and George is doing it. And by the way, Tommy, you want to say anything about this before we finish it up?
I don't even know
Because
what the fuck y'all are talking about.
Talking about the gays.
Oh, fuck Channing Tatum up his stupid ass.
Okay, then.
I can't believe it hurt so many people. I'm 21 Jump Street.
I'm pretty sure him being in G.I. Joe hurt more people than Chappelle's comedy.
Oh, crap. All right.
I wish they had led with the part that was positive and not how, the framing technique he used.
Why did I
honestly.
think George was in that chat group? All right, I'm going to invite George. You guys go ahead.
Please do.
Yeah. Real quick, like I wanted to
Hey,
mention
George.
what I wanted to just like time profit. Like, so it's not that at least me, I'm not trying to segregate anybody when I say black community. What I mean is like that is appropriate when you're talking about how they were actually being represented in years ago, not that many years ago, but years ago, because they were the ones being represented at a higher rate as being criminal and being poor and impoverished. I mean, Jayne got a. I think that is.
No, it's true. You can speak collectively about a group, especially when you're talking about how they're being treated collectively in a medium like
Right.
Entertainment and Hollywood, because we still see elements of it to this day. I mean, even Batwoman had to be a drug dealer, which they did change to her being. It was her girlfriend or somebody who was the drug dealer.
Yeah,
I mean,
some
but
that's
it's just
crazy
so
like,
many times. She was set up, and then she wasn't, and then she admitted to doing it, and then it was set up again. They want to have their cake and eat it too.
they
when
could
it
have just
comes to that sort of
avoided
thing.
all of that altogether.
Yeah, exactly. Why play into that sort of stereotype? If you
Because
want
they
to
have
build
no
up
other
someone,
ideas.
Nothing else.
and
That's
I mean,
all
she
they
was
know about
poor and
black
lived
people.
by a river. Like
But that's the problem, Mr. Grant Gregory. You're correct. They lean too heavily into these old stereotypes that don't represent people, and they don't have other tropes to call upon because in their experience, which is their limited education, limited to the institutions that are brainwashing them, that's all they learned about. The world is bad. It's racist. It's against all these people. It's transphobic. It's all these bad things. So when they get out in the world, they're one-trick ponies. They got nothing. They have no life experience to share with anybody. All their stories revolve around identity, is particularly them. That's why everything's a self-insert. It's one of those things that just infuriates me, and it kills everything that they do. And that's why we are getting content now, and we're not getting quality television programs. We're not getting quality films. We're getting content.
And when you do have a new character or any character who doesn't fit into those stereotypes, like Luther, characters like that, they get mad because he's not eating jerk chicken and he's not hanging out at the, I don't know, what do they call? I'm not even black enough to know
Pool
what
hall.
it is.
Oh wow.
The
pool
cookout.
hall.
The cookout.
Oh, the
with
cookout. Oh,
white
yeah,
people.
yeah.
Dude.
I tell you what,
But-
the people in Britain, obviously, they are messed up because I mean, you're asking Idris Elba to do that. I'm like, sorry, no.
But by the way, we
he
do
was also
reference
he wasn't
the.
black enough as well.
Oh God.
Well, he has an accent. You can't be black with an English accent. That's just a fact. No, but as far as like we can't have or we don't. No one says that a white community. We do all the time. We refer to white people as a collective all the time. I do. You know what I mean? I have this whole bit about avoiding the way that always gets white people killed. I don't swim in the ocean. I don't check out strange noises at night. I don't mess with animals I don't know. These are all ways that get white people killed on a continuous basis for whatever reason. And I avoid those things.
And you'd have sayings like white evangelicals and sometimes and this is very bizarre to me actually. I know it's a little bit of a tangent, but they'll refer to the working class as like
Yeah.
a stand-in for white people. And I'm like, you
Mhm.
do know that Black people also work, right? It's just it's a weird thing you see on like CNN and MSNBC.
Well, so do Latinos, and so I mean everybody
It's
works.
so stupid.
What? I mean, so are you saying that you don't work? You don't identify with working people?
It's
Like
just
what the
weird.
hell?
It's
Well,
Anyway,
like blue collar. Blue
Blue
If
collar is the other
if
one,
you
yeah.
have to even like if people question you and they're like, well, Black people work. Blue collar. That's what we mean. You
Well,
know, in
here's-
Detroit, that known white area of the country, Detroit, with all the factories.
Okay, but I do want to say this. Makani Draw sends a $3 super
Hey,
sticker,
Makani.
which is a little Shiba Inu with a goofy face. Thanks, Mock. Appreciate it. By the way, keep that diaper money coming, because I think that's probably why Scott isn't here. He's diapering someone. I would
Scott, where are you?
Car 52. Where are you?
Where are you?
That's right.
Oh, didn't they remake that with Dr. Dre, the original Dr. Dre, not the Dre from Compton? And what's the other guy's name? Yeah. Oh, come on, Tom.
Oh, they did a reboot Quill back in the day, yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
Like,
what's his
it
partner's
actually
name?
had, well, I can't remember who, like, because it actually had the one guy from the original series who plays Grandpa
I
Munster.
knew you would know.
But I can't remember who was in it specifically because I never actually watched the stupid thing. It got such horrible reviews. I know, like,
I watched
what's
it.
his face from the New York Dolls was in it.
Are you
The guy
talking
who
about
played the
one
cabbie in
the one from
Scrooge.
the 90s?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah, that had
David Johansen and
McGinley in it.
Ted McGinley, the guy that kills everything.
Okay, you guys are naming everyone but
No,
the two black
he
guys
played
that
Dr.
started
Cox.
it.
I don't
played Dr.
remember
Cox
any
in
black
Scrubs.
guys in the movie because I never saw it.
John C. McGinley. He was in it.
I don't know.
Yeah. He
I
was
may
the
be
doctor,
thinking of it.
Dr. Cox from Scrubs. I remember him being in
You
it.
know what? There's this magical thing, Mad, called
I'm on it
IMDb.
right now.
All right.
Oh wait, maybe I am thinking about a different movie. Well, what movie am I thinking about with
No idea.
By the time Scott comes back, he will have long hair. Hey, I am fake Scott. Okay, I have long hair.
You're not even talking like Scott.
Oh, I tried it. I did my best Scott imitation, and it sounds like Shapiro. It sounds like Shapiro from Daily Wire. Hello, everybody. It's Scott from
No, that's Shapiro.
Sporking News.
Yeah, that's
Yeah, he did this earlier.
Yeah.
Scott is more like this. He's constantly like just totally like always on the edge.
That's Scott.
Yeah, very close. It's very close.
Just start yelling at Walton, you'll be right. Mads. That's the gateway to get into the accent. Just start
Who's the
yelling at
man? That's what I'm talking about. Sorry. Who's the man? That's the movie I'm
Nothing
talking
related
about.
to Car 54.
They're not
Where
even
are you?
They're cops in Who's the
None.
Man?
Oh,
Mad,
geez.
this is why I wonder why you're here sometimes.
Bad Boys. Bad Boys. That was a remake of Cars
come on.
52.
Tom, you missed all the great and insightful things I have said up to this point. There was just one time
You're
I
lucky
mix
you
up
make me laugh.
Car 52 and
You were
You're
on
freaking
like
a
Roger
roll.
Rabbit, okay?
Who's the
Make me laugh.
Man?
Yeah, it's like that Jaws remake. What do they call it? Schindler's List. Yeah, you know that, Matt.
Yeah, the Jaws remake.
Ed
Yeah,
Lover.
yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. Dr. Dre and Ed
Yeah,
Lover.
yeah. That movie they made
the
after
Green
Alien.
Mile. The Green Mile. Yeah, clearly Car 52.
Whatever.
Look, all right. I since we're
That's
talking
as
about
bad as trailers when they say from the studio that brought
the
you. It's like I give
From
a
the
fuck.
hairdresser.
so look, because we're talking about vans down by the river, I have to give you a van down by the river. Here we go. Ruby Rose eviscerates the CW, alleges mistreatment and unsafe conditions on the set of Batwoman. I wouldn't return for any amount of money.
Did she though?
She said this.
Not like they're asking her, but
She
No, they
said
did
a
ask her.
lot of. She said a lot of stuff that was kind
really
of questionable
They
too.
approached her apparently.
The part I like the most, that is 100% correct. No, but the part that that's my Australian and beat me in. But the part that what both like I not enjoyed, but like I found most fascinating and also believed the least was when she's like, "Oh, we saw a dude get burnt over his face melt off," and then we had to go do a love scene. I'm like, Okay, that seems a little extreme even for the CW.
But her
Like, to make
complaint
you do that.
was that they didn't pay for counseling for everyone. It's like they pay
Right.
you a salary.
Yeah.
Go get it yourself. What is the problem here? She was
Yeah, I didn't
mad
even think
because
about
during the
that part,
Comic-Con
too.
they wouldn't rearrange their schedule for her. It's just there are some things that she makes legitimate claims about, but others it's just like, Karen, stop it.
Well, let's read. According to former Batwoman star Ruby Rose, the narrative put forth in the media surrounding her departure from the live-action DC Comics adaptation has been a near complete fabrication, as the actress has alleged that her exit from the show was not due to COVID, but rather the CW's own mistreatment of their actors, and neglect on set safety conditions, which I agree that actually was pretty egregious. But
Whatever happened to her being allergic to the suit that she wore? Wasn't that a thing too?
yeah, whatever happened to punctuation in this paragraph? That's apparently just a sentence. But Spencer, you're going to get some words from me, buddy. All right, we'll keep going. Rose revisited the topic of her exit from Batwoman on October 19th, declaring in an Instagram story, "Dear CW, Carolyn Dries, Sarah Sawity, Greg Berlanti et al. Enough is enough. I'm going to tell the whole world what really happened on that set." And she did.
Except what she did on the set.
Well, exactly. But again, even we've read this story multiple different ways today, and they were very vague on what they said.
Yeah. Yeah, their scathing response. Well, their scathing response was like it never clarified who was complaining. It was like, yeah, the incidences or like the conduct on set. Whose conduct? Like, what do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
but I had the same questions of her when she's talking about abuse. Okay.
Oh, for sure.
Tell us
For sure.
specifically
Yeah.
what happened. It's like both of you guys go to court. Just handle it there.
It may
Why
end
are
up
you
there.
handling it on social media?
Well, because it's how you do damage control, and she's not lined up another job. Go ahead, Mr. Gregory.
I know. It initially all started with her assistant, Amanda Smith, or whatever it was, who got he nearly got killed, got paralyzed, and then they had to do a GoFundMe to be able to get her surgery and treatment. That's what I initially thought it was going to be about, but it's barely even mentioned.
but do they not have insurance though?
I'm not too sure how it works, but I know initially that was her big thing, because that was what she was initially pushing for. But then it was the suit makes her itchy, and then because of COVID restrictions, and then she had to work 20-hour days. But see, we've got that many different stories. We don't know where the truth lies amongst all the scattershot of lies.
I mean, we do know that somebody was seriously injured. That part is true. But
she was mad that they didn't just pay out, that they investigated first. Well, but that's what they do.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
Well, but normally isn't it the insurance company that will come and investigate, right? They'll pay out, but then like it's a follow-up almost, like they will come and investigate like whether or not, and like, you know what I mean? Isn't that usually? But wouldn't it also depend on the CBA? The collective bargaining agreement, like they have to be union
contract. Yeah. Well, look, I mean, the production almost wasn't going to cover the injury that happened to a production assistant on the set when she was made a quadriplegic. We talked about this earlier.
Yeah,
today,
she was on her phone.
Look, they can both be
lowered a camera. They lowered a camera boom on her head.
Yeah. See, somebody should have told her to get the fuck out of the way. Like that's
Maybe
a
she
safety
should have been paying
issue.
attention.
Well, there's that too. Like there's all kinds of different parts to it. I mean, I don't want to victim blame here at all. And that's the problem, because they did try to victim blame in this case.
Yeah. No,
somebody on the set should have told her, you cannot be standing there. There are people, that are supposed to be doing that. That's their fucking job.
Yep. And she's a PA, so she's got 1,000 things in her head running between different things, because they overwork the PAs like crazy.
Well, and she probably thought she could stand there. I doubt that she wouldn't have stood there otherwise, right?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah. It depends. Who was she? And we never got a straight answer on who she was the PA for. So, but
I've heard two different stories of what happened too. So, like, that's the whole thing. And then on that part, but that doesn't conflate with the fact that doesn't mean that Ruby Rose ain't probably a whiny little diva either.
That's true.
Right.
And
Both
so
can
here we
be
go.
True.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I will come for you. So what happened to me never happens to another person again. She continued, and so I finally take back my life and the truth. Shame on you. She did all this stuff. Let's keep going. Moving to begin her takedown of the CW. Rose then took aim at the now former Warner Brothers Television Group chair Peter Roth, who stepped down from his position earlier this year. Not sure if you left after getting promoted to the highest position because you just couldn't stop making young women steam your pants around your crotch while you were still wearing said pants, or if you left after putting a private investigator on me who you fired as the report it didn't fit your narrative, wrote the actress. Either way, when it comes to you, there's an army waiting for you.
Okay, a couple of things. How do you know what the report said? One.
No.
Two.
How did she know there was a private investigation?
Yeah, that too. And three. What's up with this dude and steaming his pants while they're on?
Well, I can answer the first two. I mean, she's Batwoman, the greatest detective on Earth, so I mean that's how she figured it out. So
I didn't think about that.
If they're steaming his pants while they're on, he wouldn't be doing anything inappropriate in the moment, would he? Because that steam is kind of hot, isn't it?
I think that's a euphemism.
No, I think
I
think it's literal.
Me too.
Yeah, like I don't know if many people are aware of this, but that is a very sensitive area on a man.
Maybe he poured coffee on it.
Right, like if you're using steam to get the crotch wrinkles out of your pants, like guys, there's other ways. Like get Dockers no wrinkle pants. I don't know. Do they still make those? Are those a thing? Doesn't matter. Moving on.
Dockers
in the dryer.
No wrinkle pants, something like that.
I don't know. I do know this. I don't. I'm gonna have to look this up if it's like a euphemism that I don't get, but I don't know.
She's literally steam your pants.
Yeah, literally culture.
Okay, I'll take your word for it. The great George has joined
Hello.
us.
George, have you ever had your pants steamed while you're still wearing them around your crotch area?
Only in an emergency once in a hotel.
Oh wow. Okay, so okay.
Well, there you go.
Because I literally had to wear them, and I was running to another meeting, and the concierge came up and was like, "Stand right there."
Was it a sexual thing?
No.
Okay. All right. That's interesting.
Why would it be
regardless?
sexual?
I've never heard of that happening. So it seems like it would be uncomfortable for the person having the steaming because it's hot.
Exactly.
I went the same route as you, Culture. I thought it was I purely thought it was euphemism, but then reading it again, I'm like, actually, no. I think they are right. He was getting steamed.
The actress then published a video taken during a doctor's visit regarding the neck and rib injuries that she sustained on the set of Batwoman, explaining, cut to 3 weeks later after this video, it's worse than abnormal. This was diagnosed years ago on set, but I was told if I got an x-ray, we wouldn't complete filming on time and on budget. On top of that, I have enough documentation to make an hour documentary.
But I'm confused as to what. Okay, you got injured on set as Batwoman. Okay, that happens to a lot of superhero action stars. You have insurance, presumably, that took care of all of this.
Absolutely, they have.
What are we supposed to draw from this? What are we supposed to condemn here? I don't understand.
I think it would be the negligence of the production of putting them in putting them in avoidable situations that cause them to be at a higher risk than what would be required to make the show.
But why isn't she talking about that though? She just talks about I was injured on set. She's not saying this is what they told me to do and this is what happened and this violated this particular policy or protocol. There should have been a policy or protocol.
Oh, I'm sorry. You wanting receipts? Well, she has enough for an hour-long documentary.
Well, I was going to say,
wait for that.
I mean, this is a receipt I didn't see because I don't do Instagram stories at all. I don't have time for that. Mm-hmm. But this is her stuff.
Yeah, we know she was injured though.
Did I miss something? What happened?
If
real
she's
quick?
blaming them, then okay, what did they do or not do?
Oh, George, she had an injury on the set during the course of making Batwoman. It was one that was so severe that she had to have surgery or else risk being paralyzed. She ruptured or herniated 2 discs. 3?
Oh, you're talking about Ruby Rose.
Yeah, specifically. Yeah.
I remember that story.
Yeah.
Well, what happened?
Yeah.
Is she suing?
Well, no, she's just spilling the tea on I'm sorry, George. I thought we were all caught up with you. She's spilling the tea about why she is alleging the CW mistreated her and the unsafe conditions working on Batwoman. She also, she eviscerates everybody that was associated with the production, from Carolyn Dries and Greg Berlanti to Mr. North, who used to be in charge of the WB.
Oh, so she's basically going to blame them for a disastrous series, right?
Well, and then blaming them for her getting fired. Basically, she's telling a completely different story now. That I imagine the NDAs have
expired,
worn off. Yeah,
I wonder though. That's my question, because she ain't been off the show that long.
No, 6 months.
Yeah, and NDAs usually last a couple of years. That's my question. I think here's my thing is I think she's playing devil's advocate here. Because she thinks that if she says all this shit, even if she doesn't have to prove it,
right?
If they fucking come after her with an NDA, all that does is see, prove my point. See, I'm right. They're coming after me, which that doesn't necessarily mean that's the case.
Right. Tom, do you think she's trying to resuscitate her career since it?
Oh, God,
that's what it's about.
Yeah,
because I'm sure she's she's been painted as a diva to work with. She was whining about the outfit. She was whining about working certain amount of days. She's the lead on a fucking CW show, right? I can imagine like a lot of people in Hollywood are looking at like that as like, yeah, that's the last person I want to fucking work with on a movie. It's the same thing that Kryborg did to himself, right?
Exactly. Right. And she even complained about her pay, and I'm like, you negotiated the salary, so why are you on here complaining about it? It's just a lot of.
That's your agent's fault.
Right. I never understood her jump from John Wick. Was it the second one or the third one? I always get that. No, it was the second one.
It was the second one for sure.
The second one. Her jump from John Wick to Batwoman on CW.
She ticked all the right boxes.
In the Meg.
Yeah, it was just because she's a lesbian. Yeah.
But Tom, is that typical? I mean, I remember in the old days, it would be like, once you were in a movie, you didn't go back to television. Like,
that's changed
her
a lot.
part was small, and things have changed a lot.
I was just gonna say, in this case, this was actually kind of that was a step up for her in a way, because she was like second banana or third banana or whatever of the bad guys in that John Wick movie. Didn't even have any fucking lines. She's playing a mute character,
right?
Who actually deaf mute character, I should say. And then she goes from that to getting her own TV show. That's a pretty big deal.
That's a leap.
Yeah,
and here she's complaining about all of it.
Right now, if you're talking like somebody like Will Smith or somebody like that, if they were all of a sudden to take a TV show, then it'd be like,
well, now it would depend.
Knocking on your door or something all of a sudden, like
Well, I was shocked hearing Mel Gibson's doing that television show.
I'm not because he can't get a fucking movie made in Hollywood to save his life.
But I thought he makes his own now. He doesn't.
He works with. He worked with Craig Zoller on Dragged Across Concrete. He also had that Santa movie and Boss Level. He's in some things for sure, but not to the level
outside the system. Yeah,
and movies and television have converged at this point.
I was going to say that.
True. Yeah. Going back to what I was saying, because like watching Halloween Kills, I felt like I was watching the second season of a fucking streaming show. Whether you like it or not, it still felt that way, because it's like I can't judge this like a movie anymore, right? The Marvel universe has kind of done that to us.
It's done that. Yeah, it's very plastic. Yeah, I mean that's
soft TV lighting and everything. There's no real artistic thing. It's basically a high budget TV series, and that's what TMC turned into.
Good point.
That's what it's all going to turn into, I'm afraid, because they're all going to want to use the stagecraft system, and you're going to end up with a lot of very flat, fake looking stuff. And I mean, Mandalorian, does an okay job with it, but it's at the same time, there's still some moments there you're going, wow, that is just.
Yeah, and she did have a pretty big part in the Meg too. I was just reminded by Soul Assassin. Yeah,
but
that did pretty well.
But that was
but it did pretty well. Believe it or not,
I enjoyed it.
Hell yeah,
I liked it.
Wow.
Yeah, it did actually. Make money.
Dude. They're coming out with a second one.
I was gonna say they even got the second one coming. Yeah,
that thing made money, bro. Like that was a lot of fun.
I like the first 15 minutes of it because they used that guy from Longmire, and then I was like, they said it was his first film. I was like, okay, he's gonna have a good part. And then when I saw the shark, I was like, this is like Jaws 3D.
Hell yeah, it is.
Well, I didn't like it. I didn't like
I'll
Jaws
tell you,
3D.
George. Honestly, the
Yeah.
Meg, I avoided it because I hate shark. I mean, I love shark movies, but I hate
Right.
shark movies anymore because there's so many of them.
And they are the deep blue sea,
Yeah.
whatever deep blue.
Whoa,
You know, there's a shark
watch
movie.
it.
Well, I like the first one, not the. You know what, Tom? I've been waiting to ask you. There's a shark movie that I saw. I think it was 79 or 81. I don't know what the hell the name of it is. I've looked for it everywhere. It's basically this kid on an island somehow becomes best friends with a great white or a great tiger shark, and it
Not
protects it.
Shark Boy, is it?
I think I know the one you're talking about, but it has a couple different names. It's either if it's the tiger one, it might be Tiger Shark. It's in the English title.
But you know what I'm talking about? Like it protects
Yes.
him. Like it does this whole job where it's like it's buddy.
And
Somebody
somebody
in the
like
chat
a
will
shark
know.
fin.
Yeah, if it's a tiger shark. Otherwise, that's the thing. There's so many. Like there was this one guy who's an Italian film director who made like a half a dozen fucking shark movies after Jaws came out, and it's probably that guy. And I have like a bunch of them on Blu-ray. I'll have to go through it and look which one it is because they all
Okay.
meld together for me. But I'll get back to you on that one. I
Thank
do
you.
know the
Well,
one you're
Shark
talking
Boy
about.
or
though.
Bora.
Real quick, since we deviated for a second, I want to grab the super chat before I lose it. Nikki D asks a question for $5. If the IATSE strike does indeed happen, will it affect Netflix too? The short answer, no. And will some future film and TV shows be canceled? Short answer, yes. Tom, do you disagree?
He's looking up shark movies from the
I
70s
was
by an
muted.
Italian.
If
director.
IATSE strikes, like this is what I was saying before. Is anything that is. Here's the problem you have right now. If there's a strike, and depending on how long it goes, contracts and schedules and all that kind of stuff come into play. And unless like you have this like industry wide, like, yeah, we're gonna push the reset button on shit and push everything down the line, and that means everybody has to agree on it, which I doubt will happen. Then yeah, sure, tons of shows are gonna get canceled. Tons of movies are gonna get shut down and probably never get picked back up. Now,
What are they looking for? What are they looking for to settle this? That's what I haven't.
time
well,
off.
there's a couple different stories to that. Like the Netflix thing is though a different story because like Netflix, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, and HBO Max already made a deal
They're
with the
isolated.
unions.
Yep.
So they can continue production.
Those Showtime and somebody else, one of the other pay TV channels.
Stars?
Maybe.
And the weird thing is a lot of these productions, they are kind of initially they shut down under the guise of, and this is what I was hearing too, was that they were figuring this strike was going to happen.
Oh.
But there's a big but now. Guardians of the Galaxy 3 just started filming and it's still filming.
Yep.
They haven't shut that one down.
Nope.
And the other rumor now leaking out of Indiana Jones, and the reason why that was pushed back a year is also the rumor that Doomcock is saying, and that is that they're going back to do a bunch of rewrites.
Oh no! Why?
Time travel.
Oh, come on, yeah.
By the way, George, if you want a good non-shark movie but shark movie, Orca.
Oh, Lorca, one of my favorites. Love it.
Right? Yeah,
Yeah,
it has
well,
everything.
Greg Gregory is
If you want a good shark movie that's
Beyond
not
the
a
Reef.
shark
Yep.
movie, West Side Story.
There was a shark movie that I never saw, but I always saw the trailers. It was in 1982. It was after I saw Orca. It was called Great White. That's all it was called. Great
That's
White.
the other one I was thinking of too. Like, yeah, that one's got a couple different names. I
Hey, the
might
boss
not
is
even
here.
have this one. I don't know if I have this one or not. Because I have a lot of the early Jaws ripoffs, but then after that, I kind of fell off. But I was going to get to it saying the Meg is actually one of the better of them as far as I'm concerned. But anyhow,
The Meg's
just
really
didn't
good,
like-
man.
it's not
I
a great
enjoyed
film,
it,
but
except I didn't like the effect when they showed the whole thing. It's like that's what was great about Jaws. You didn't see it until
Oh,
the
here we
end.
go.
Well,
See, that's what's
Bruce
so
was
great about
broken.
Deep Blue Sea. Like 5 minutes in, you see all of the shark
Right,
and
but it
nonstop for the
destroys
rest
it.
of the
You
movie.
understand? It destroys it when
Nope.
you see the phony.
Made it better.
CGI.
But
They don't
Bruce
kid
was-
around.
But Bruce was broken. That's why you
Yeah.
didn't, that's why you didn't see him.
Yeah.
a shark is not working.
Yeah,
By the way-
the shark is not working. We got the shark to work like what was it, like 3 times, Tom, that they got it to work?
No, and then it was finally the shark is working. Repeat, the shark is working, but the boat is sinking. Repeat, the boat is sinking.
Real quick,
Three times.
in Deep Blue Sea, right? They made those sharks, the animatronic sharks, out of like a jet engine, and one of them malfunctioned and took the fuck off through the ceiling. Just flew the fuck out of the ceiling. Also, they had a horrible infestation of crickets. So the entire movie had to be ADR because there was just this constant cricket sound through the whole thing.
Wait a minute. They had to loop, because in the old days we called it looping. So they had to loop all that dialogue?
All of it, because all of it had crickets underneath it. They could not find the crickets.
See, I don't understand today with how so many people do shark dives, great white dives, tiger dives,
White people doing white people shit.
Why they can't film it so it looks realistic? I mean, you could get it. I mean, even was it Thunderball that had the shark scene where they went to the Caribbean and they actually
Wait, is that the one where
real
Sean
sharks.
Connery didn't know? And like when he jumped out in terror, he was jumping out in terror because nobody told him.
Like, you don't have to tell him today. Just kind of like, just go. You're safe. You're fine. No worries.
Well, they say the sharks don't really attack people that often. So
Not really.
I dive. I've seen a few, but I'm not sitting there going to pet them. I've seen
But
some
when,
idiots.
but when they do, they usually win. That's the point.
They do. They usually win.
Okay, but George, look, there's a way to do this. Okay, so there near the Isle of Man in the Gulf of Mexico.
I thought that was in England, the Isles of Man with the weird flag.
Maybe it's the Isle of Women.
You talking about the Guadalupe where the great whites are?
No, I'm talking about in the Gulf of Mexico. Maybe it's the Isle of Women. I don't know. Anyway, there's a shark dive.
Yeah,
it's near. It's like near Cancun, right? Or near what's the name of that island? I've been there a lot of times. My brain's melting. Anyway, there are some freshwater aquifers, right, that rise up from the ocean.
Mm-hmm.
You can actually go down, get face to face with terrifying things like even hammerheads, which are the scariest sharks to me as a diver, and they are completely stoned because of the freshwater aquifers.
What?
I'm not kidding.
You gotta come to Texas, because in March they have a hammerhead dive. It's in the Flower Gardens. It's 12 hours out from Galveston, and you see them up above you. The Flower Gardens, you have to hit about 75 feet below. That's where the reef is actually at.
Right.
And so you see just flocks or herds of them going above head.
That's amazing.
People dive to see that?
They do. I did it once when I was stupid.
I mean, people dive with crocodiles.
Yeah, I
too,
was
so-
like, the demographics on that must be.
I love it. Oh wait, I'm
100%
crazy.
white.
I'm crazy. I mean, I have a zillion stories. Somebody said I should actually just create videos just about the scuba diving stuff that I've done. But
That's what you do in your 20s, and then when you think you're immortal, and then as you hit your 30s, you're like, yeah, why did I do that again? Just a good picture.
well, I
know you want to.
we need. Go ahead.
Just one thing. I went swimming with dolphins one time.
Me.
I don't think you did.
Did they poke you?
No, listen. This is what
Or
happened,
did you
right?
poke them?
We were on a cruise and we went to.
I know you did.
Cozumel.
You poked them. Okay.
We were in Cozumel as the ex-wife. Oh, talk about a horrible woman. Talk about a woman. Anyway, so we're in Cozumel, and
She's your ex. Huh?
she had this giant tarantula margarita. It was like, it was huge. Had the whole thing. Before we go swim with a dog, it's in a little place, and
You
she
said
goes,
had the whole thing.
the whole frozen
Drink.
margarita.
Jesus.
Yeah, the whole drink. And she's like, I can't feel my face. I'm like, well, this is gonna work out perfect. So we get in there, and like we're in line, and they're explaining to us how the water from the ocean comes into this little area we're in or whatever. But don't worry, nothing can get in. And as he's saying this, there is a fish attached to my cap, and I'm like, hey, like, I don't know if that's true. Like there's something like attached to me right now. He goes, no, that's not possible. No, it's like, look, you can come look. It's on my leg. What are you talking about? It's not possible. Anyway,
No, it's not
so
real.
off to a great start, right? So I'm there, and they're like, okay, put your hands like this, and the dolphin's gonna kiss you, and then so it does, and I'm like, ugh. And then they're like, okay, kiss the dolphin, and I'm like, no, They're like, well, no, you got to, because like now she's expecting a kiss. Like, well, have the next person kiss her twice. I'm not kissing a dolphin. That's not a thing I do. No.
Yeah, we know you Frenched it, right?
No, I and then they're like, you want to ride it? No, no, I do not. I think well, not as bad as my ex-wife, who is hammered. She's riding the dolphin. Riding. Yeah, you get to ride the dolphin. Like the dolphin's upside down, you're holding on to his fins or whatever, and and the water's in her face, and she's drunk, and she can't see the dude doing his little signal or whatever. So she almost runs the dolphin into a rock wall. And so now he's pissed off. And I'm like, well, look, to be fair, like, she couldn't see you because of the water. Like, you have a whistle around your neck, maybe try that, right?
Whistle, yeah.
And he's like, I guess that's a good point. I'm like, yeah, no
shit.
I'm not gonna have that on my conscience.
You're the sober one, sir.
Yeah, right. Like killing a dolphin. Anyway,
no, all I was gonna do, and I know Culture's freaking out because he's losing control.
That's right.
I just had to do the one line. Shark cage, huh? You go in the water. Shark's in the water. Shark.
Shark.
Farewell and
adieu to the Spanish lady. Farewell and adieu to you, ladies of Spain. Yeah, I love it.
They don't love you going out. They'll love you coming in.
It's the greatest.
Yeah. Look, let's finish this up because we might get to a third story. That'd be tremendous.
Addressing rumors going to have a heart attack when I show him. All right, go ahead, Culture.
Almost had control. Almost. Addressing rumors that she fought people on set, Rose admitted that while these rumors were true, it was not because I wanted to, but because I wanted safety. Ask anyone in hair and makeup what I did for them after two were hospitalized. Was Dougray, I think she's afraid they are semi-Dougray Scott, who talk about unprofessional. So apparently he was kind of not in her, Christmas card list for some reason.
Real quick. Whatever. Real quick, before he starts.
So, thank you for having me here, everybody, on my own show.
To your own channel.
Thank you very much. And
hey, Scott,
how are you guys?
Thank you for having me.
This is George. Anytime, George, Mr. Grant, Tom, that kid behind the stage, Jayne, always Culture. Thank you guys.
How do you get hurt working makeup and hair and makeup? Like, how did you get injured on set?
I told you that in confidence.
Oh, no.
Oh, we're not talking about me. Oh, sorry.
Scott, you look great. Let me put my hat on and see if people can tell the difference. Oh, I'm not wearing that shirt.
Oh, damn it.
You gotta hide your hair.
I just want to say this chat is awesome.
Of you, did you?
No. Oh, wait a minute. I gotta listen. Hold on.
Okay, go ahead, Tom.
No, I ain't doing it. He's here now.
Oh well, I wasn't doing him. Apparently, I was doing Ben Shapiro. So
yeah, you're all like, well, science doesn't care about your feelings.
No.
That's perft.
When Scott is all like up here, he's like always nervous, and he's always like got to. Now he's actually pretty mellow.
What am I like the? Oh boy, I'm.
You normally are. You are. You're just
what,
all
Jewish?
Like,
what are you
now
doing?
You're acting normal because you did hear me do your impression earlier.
No, I missed it. I literally.
Why?
I didn't hear it. I'm going to listen though. But yeah, I like. Where's the one from Cody?
I did it better earlier.
Spore RK outposting news. I like
that is actually pretty clever.
That's funny.
That is a good one. Welcome everybody to Sporking News Podcast.
Of Culture losing his shit over
about what?
Because he was singing Robert Shaw's song.
It wasn't me.
No, we were singing. It's a great song. It's a great song.
Did it on the counter.
Wasn't me.
It wasn't me.
Show me the way to
go home.
Yeah, good one.
All right,
Otis.
So we were going over the Ruby Rose story.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
What do you mean? Oh, geez, you're the one that selected what we're gonna go over.
All right, can we Culture? Can you
by the time he got on?
Well, Culture, can you explain to him what I do? I read. What do? Do I read the article?
No.
Never.
No,
I'm
No,
all about clickbait.
He looks at the clickiest, baitiest thing he can find. Usually, something from our friends over at Bounding or something, and we end up with those things. And then he hasn't read them, so then I get to read them. Or he
Absolutely.
How about the click? Yeah, how about
It's
the clickbait? I had us earlier about how what's her name, the director of the Marvels, blamed Captain America for the snap.
Yeah, I'm so mad at you right now. That made me crazy, dude.
Wait a
I'm
minute.
like,
What?
we made it through this article. Oh God, I'm not doing it again. I'm not doing it again.
You know what? I'll find it.
Oh.
She blamed Captain Marvel?
No, dude.
No.
Oh, Captain America?
Captain America.
Yes.
It's the most ridiculous take you've ever heard in the universe. Okay, so here we go. Real quickly. With the mention of her Batwoman co-star, Rose then turned to address his behavior, specifically beginning with the anecdote regarding how the former Jacob Cain actor called my agent after my exit to find a way to leave, to which she replied, "Break your neck, I guess, yet he slammed me in the press. I never raised my voice on set. Never have, yet Dugarry hurt a female stunt double. He yelled like a little beach at women and was a nightmare." She continued. "He left when he wanted, arrived when he wanted. He abused women, and in turn, as a lead of a show, I sent an email out asking for a no yelling policy.
Oh my God.
The CW declined.
No one can yell. You can't yell at
Let's speak to a
anybody.
manager.
Yeah.
You're yelling.
You're not allowed to raise your voice at me.
So explains why she never emoted on the show.
In the final anecdote, and then we've got 2 super chats to get to.
I just can't imagine what Snowflake could actually say that. Like how could you actually say that out loud? No yelling.
Because George, it's their time right now. They can say whatever they want.
No, but I'm talking about self-esteem. Like just a little self-esteem to hear yourself actually say that. No yelling.
Because it's not for you, it's for everyone. You're the savior. You're the one speaking out.
God.
Well, in her final anecdote regarding the set of Batwoman, Rose stated that she was late one time because I was in hospital, only for Luke Fox actor Cameron Johnson to tell her after her discharge, "Yeah, well, maybe if people were not late, we would make our days." A kid, an egomaniac,
trying to drag everyone else down.
Yeah, an egomaniac kid who worked one day a week had the audacity, Rose frustratedly began before jumping to how the stunt department were furious, even though I never though.
Okay, so she is the one that's at fault. You see her trying to twist words.
Mm-hmm.
Right, yeah.
I don't know for sure. This is the problem.
Yeah,
you never know who is credible here, because of the weasel words that whoever the response from the CW was, the weasel word, it seemed like a very it seemed like a lawyerly response that wouldn't say directly that she was X, Y, or Z, just said that X, Y, or Z was present. It just really was an odd way of wording things.
But the thing is, here she's directly responding to earlier criticisms of her behavior on set, saying that she was fighting with people, she was showing up late. And here she acknowledges that one of her co-stars complained about her showing up late, but she's creating her own narrative in response to that.
Right. If you go back to that, Jayne, and you're absolutely right. And I'm sorry to interrupt you, but if you go back to that, if you go back to that part, she starts to like almost put him on Front Street, like he's only here once a week, and then she like changes the subject. Like if that's her quote, correct? That's her talking.
Yeah.
She's pretty much saying that he should keep his mouth shut.
Right.
Or he doesn't know how hard she has been fighting for everyone on that set.
Well, I'll finish this up. Oh, that's not it. That's it. In conclusion to her Instagram story, Rose shared an x-ray of her neck injuries in order to refute those who thought I owe proof of injuries. Here they are.
No, that's not the proof.
See,
that's
again,
not the
that's
proof
strong
people are wanting.
man. Yeah, of course
Nobody
not.
questioned that she was injured.
This is her trying to change the story.
But what we're trying to understand is, what did the studio do to hurt you or put you at risk? That she's never said.
Right,
What
because
did
accidents
they do leading
happen.
up to it, and what did they do in response to it?
Right.
And along with the other, did you just headbutt your mic?
Yes, I totally did.
Okay.
Oh, I was like, what?
And also in how they handled the other accidents.
All I have to say is Buster Keaton is rolling in his grave, and Jackie Chan is cracking up laughing at somebody like broke a nail doing stunts and is complaining. I mean, I just can't.
Well,
imagine.
3 vertebrae is a little bit more than.
I do gotta say, I didn't get to
I'm
finish
saying
that
that
other
happens.
Say that again.
I didn't
Again,
get to
Tom.
finish answering that other super chat.
Okay.
Oh, go ahead.
The other rumbling we're hearing about why there might be a strike is because of the Pokey Pokey.
Well,
Oh,
and they're not saying that anywhere in any of the reporting around it at all. Also, the only group to come out in favor of this, the deal with IATSE so far, is the cinematographers. That's it.
Yeah, but see, here's the thing, and Chris Gore brought this up this morning too, and
Right.
this is what he said. So that's where I heard most of it from. And
Yep.
yeah, basically, it's because a lot of these folks are seen as below the line, and that's a thing that comes up all the time.
I hate that, by the way.
And they're segregated from the actors, and the actors don't have to adhere to the same rules, is what I
Right.
heard.
so elites versus serfs.
There
Yep.
you go.
Well, cinematographers are kind of avant-garde.
Yeah, they're kind of like middle of the line.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
They're the bourgeoisie, like the middle class people.
Yeah.
Bourgeoisie. Cake. Let me just, I'll read this one. Before I read this, I just want to, like, this chat, you guys on the
You're on
panel,
fire.
culture, you guys are amazing. Thank you for covering me on Wednesdays. It's been really hard trying to figure this all out. I'm like trying to listen to hear if the baby's crying while my other one's screaming. So I appreciate it. I appreciate it to everybody in the chat and
Here's
anybody
what
who
you
sends
do,
super
Scott.
chats.
You tell the other
Unbelievable.
one that you want to try and you want them to try and wake the baby up, and they'll be as quiet as possible. It's called
You know
reverse
what?
psychology.
Valid point. I might have to try that. So I like this question from Nikki D for $5. Summer, which popular male characters do you predict will be destroyed next? So out of these 4, I want to know what you guys think. Indiana Jones, Doctor Strange, Obi-Wan Kenobi. Actually, out of the 3, because Thor was already ruined in What If.
Yeah.
Right.
So,
Well, that doesn't count.
And
Nobody
then
watched that
Thor:
guy
Love
in
and Thunder,
cartoon.
he's going to be finished. So,
oh, he's
Indiana-
done.
Here's
Indiana
the
Jones was
answer.
destroyed in the Skull Kingdom, and then
No.
I think.
No.
I don't
I
think so
agree.
either.
Are you
No,
kidding me?
not to this level of like
Oh,
them
not to
being
this, but now you're talking degrees,
replaced, right?
But you're
Well,
talking
no, but, like,
degrees.
Well, what we're talking
There
about in the
wasn't
next
an
one, he may be
agenda.
completely replaced.
yeah. The agenda wasn't there in Kingdom of Crystal.
Yeah, at least
Skull
at the
or
end of
whatever.
Crystal Skull, he
Yeah.
takes the hat back from Mutton. He's
Right.
like, not yet, kid.
Yeah, true.
I
What do you think,
the
though?
next
Too
one,
soon.
the next one to be destroyed is depends on the release schedule. Which one's being
Obi-Wan.
released first? Then that one, and then the next, and then the next, and then the next. The only one I think maybe not is Doctor Strange. I don't know
Right.
why. That's
Well,
the
'cause he
least
might be
one
the
I've
villain.
heard about.
He might become the villain. So you're not really destroying him. You're just changing him from making, the savior now a bad guy. Summer?
No.
I think Obi-Wan will be. I think Obi-Wan will be next, only because Ewan McGregor has shifted so far left and has gone to the agenda, and with the way he speaks, and especially given Disney in its state that it's in with Lucasfilm, I think Obi-Wan will be next.
I think
Whenever
that
that
would
is.
definitely
He has a lot of
be
power
the
on the set
worst.
as well.
How about
if he
all of
wants-
them?
If he wants to change something, he's going to be able to.
Say that one more time.
I said he has a lot of power on the set as well. So if he wants to add some sort of inject some agenda or anything into anything, he has the power to be able to do it, and they will kowtow to him. So I definitely agree with George on that one, and it's not just because we have very similar facial hair.
Well, you know what though? You know what, Mr. Grant? That is actually a valid point. Ewan McGregor will destroy Obi-Wan. He has a lot of power right now because he has pretty much the ball has been in his court for most of this. From what I've heard and seen, yes, there's been rewrites, but it's been his call. Like they've been waiting on him. KK's been waiting on him. The other ones like Thor will be destroyed by, executives, writers, directors. So will Doctor Strange if that happens, which I kind of agree that it probably won't. He'll just go evil. And Indiana Jones, I think Harrison just doesn't give a shit. So he'll allow
been
it.
destroying his legacy characters for years. That's nothing new.
Yeah,
So I think we'll expect it with Indiana Jones. I mean, if he didn't do it to all of his other ones, then it might be a bit different. But we all know it's going to happen. So
Yeah.
Well,
I'm not even surprised. I'll be surprised if it doesn't.
Right, I agree with Grant. Absolutely.
In some ways, it's actually commendable to see Harrison Ford. He gives such little, like he cares so little about these characters. Like He's like,
That created him?
Yeah, I don't care. It's
That
destroyed
made him,
because,
yeah.
Well, yeah, but it's not him though. That's what I'm saying. Like he identifies himself as him. Those characters are his characters. So the love and the iconicness that we put on it is from the fans' perspective. From his perspective, he sees them as a job. Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense, except there's something that he seems to be missing out on is the respect for the fans who made him have the job, which he could then do whatever he chooses to do. That's the part that he's forgotten, which is like you can play any character you want in your bedroom or in your little local theater, and he's not going to have a mansion in Beverly Hills or one in St. Bart's with his, he'll just be a carpenter, which is nothing wrong with that, but he wouldn't be a star.
But see, I don't think he does it out of any type of I don't think he pays any mind to the fans really at all.
No,
he says, you know what I mean? Like that can be seen in a very negative way, but I also would prefer that than the adverse to that, like to where
you don't like the ass kissing and stuff,
right?
Or even the attempt to manipulate the fans, which is what someone do too.
I agree with you, Jayne, too. Yeah, like I've told Culture, when we've talked, I wish they would take the whole pimples and politics and put it right back behind the door and just be an actor. Just do your role. Like, really, it destroys a lot of the mystery for me for a new character, because you're going to go to a film and you're like, oh, shit, I know so-and-so's politics. I saw them last night at this, and you heard this. I just want to know. You go play the role.
You know what, George? The worst thing to happen to acting is social media, because prior to that, there was a mystique. There was that golden age, even up to the late 90s, where they had the Viper Room and you wanted to know what was going on behind that door.
Oh, cocaine.
Yeah, well, heroin.
No, mystique. That's the word. That's the magic word. That's one of the things that made them legendary. Come on, how many people knew about Clark Gable or Humphrey Bogart's fucking personal life for opinions? You saw them July the 4th, wave the flag, meet the president, go with the troops, do the movie, do a junket, and that's it. Oh, they were caught at the Brown Derby. Even Mark Hamill, or we'll go into the 80s or 90s. Robert Shaw. You didn't know where he stood on shit.
I think there should be more separation between the actor from his part. Like kind of like what Harrison Ford does. Like he does not identify as one of the characters that he plays or whatever. And I think that actually would be a healthy change for where we're at right now, because you see these Raylos or whatever who are completely batshit crazy, and what they need is for the actors to be like, whoa.
Well, they have though. The actors have tried to separate themselves. It's time. Like back in the 70s when he first was, Han Solo. You're not going to tell me fans didn't connect the two. It's just they're new, but like. I'll take somebody, for instance, you got De Niro. De Niro was one of the greatest actors until social media and politics. But politics, he became this bleeding heart lefty who I don't give a shit what his politics are, but he's shoving it down my throat, and now I can give two shits what he's in.
See, now it's hard for me to watch him. That's the problem, is he makes it difficult because they've melded their image where it's like, I'm Soapbox Joe, come watch me in this new film. I'm like, no.
Well, I hate it when they blend it into or try to use it to market their new character.
Film. Oh my God, we saw that with Brie Larson. Remember her before Captain Marvel? That entire stint. I don't want any reporters who are white. I won't talk to them because I'm carrying that over into Captain Marvel.
Oh gosh, the chick. Gosh, what is her name?
Bigfoot Brie.
No. The one that was the Valkyrie, the last.
Oh,
Valkyrie.
What's her name?
Man, I really liked her too.
Me too.
Started talking.
All she had to do was never talk in public, and she would have been perfect.
Right.
But that's the problem. And to answer the question that was on the screen a minute ago, I'm going to say this. I think we're going to lose. Obi-Wan first, and then I think Doctor Strange, and then Thor.
You're all wrong. We're going to lose our patience first.
The studios. That's the weird thing, right? Love and Thunder is in the can. Well, I mean, it's in post. Indiana Jones is in rewrites. Obi-Wan, who knows if they actually, even have real scripts, because the first two sets of scripts were vaporware. And Doctor Strange is going to be the villain. So none of them escape.
we're not sure if Strange is going to be the villain, are we?
He's male.
They're
He's a straight
setting
white
him
male.
up.
Are they going to
Well,
follow the what if? Is that what you're
I
saying?
believe so. I believe so. You
okay.
also have if he's not the villain, it will be Wanda. But I can't imagine a woman trying to find her children.
No, that's just a
being the villain.
misunderstanding.
I thought it was the Green Goblin.
She
I
had
thought it
the
was the Goblin.
feels. She had the feels, man. By the way, I actually have the most I have the most trust in, and y'all gonna kill me for this, but I trust Taka Waikiki. I trust Taka Waikiki. I think he trolls a lot of people.
The guy who said, "I'm going to destroy."
Yeah,
the
absolutely. He trolled the shit out of like everyone. I honestly, I have yet to see
Taka Waititi.
Yeah, Taka Waikiki. He's a director. He directed the last Thor movie. He did that
Nazi one.
The
yeah, that's the only one I didn't really care for.
No. His name is Taco Rafiki. Get it right.
Taco Rafiki.
Didn't he do the vampires? The vampires.
Yeah.
Wanna Sleepy. Wanna Sleepy. Yeah. You know what? Thor was good. He did a great job. I felt like Thor was actually becoming a man. You know, like he wasn't just.
He grew up from a jock to
and then he went back to a whiny little bitch.
Right.
Let me read these next two, and then I like that article that you brought, Tom, in the private chat. So if we could bring that one up, Culture.
Fucking awesome shit in here.
Well, that's what I want. I was going to go to that, but not that article. But I want that one. Looks awesome. So if you could bring that up, my great co-host, Machini draws for $5. Not you, Culture. Hail Scott. Sorry if the needle. Yeah, this is bullshit. Your $5 doesn't pay for what you did to me. But anyways, sorry if the needle tilted over to Steph on the Batman print giveaway on Sunday. That was such utter bullshit. Dude, it landed on my name, and then all of a sudden it said Steph, and there was confetti.
You've done so much for him and his channel.
Yeah, he fucked me.
And
yeah. Well, wait to see. We're gonna have some replacements on Saturday. Sorry, Machini. Mr. Grant Gregory for Australian $2. You don't have to do that, man. But it is the best chat. It really is. This chat rocks. Did anybody kill that webcam one? But if you need sex, go to hd.xyz and you'll get it.
Why did they waste their time doing that? I've seen it in so many chats lately.
They do it on every
screen.
Well,
who used? I mean, come on! Did someone actually sit there and go, "Hey, yeah,
it's a numbers game."
The chat, and I'm just like turned on. I'm just gonna go like grab.
It's a fishing thing.
It's a numbers game. Yeah, the more you put out there, the more of a chance you have of somebody clicking on it, even if it's by accident.
Yep. So you're gonna share that?
Yeah, Ken Jack Ben's actually trying to get a hold of either you or I, Scott. I'm not sure which.
Who?
Maybe it's me. Just one of our regular chat members. I'll figure it out. Anyway,
not me.
We've got another one. We've got another story. It's from our friend Mad Martigan.
No, not that one. I want to do the one that Tom just brought up. That one's awesome.
Oh, all right. We can definitely do
Matt, leave
Tom
that
knows
there,
were
though.
the best ones.
But Matt, leave that there for the very end. That's something
I
we
just
really go over.
across this one myself. I mean, I knew this was going on, but I didn't know half the shit that's in here.
No, it's crazy. And I watched. There's a video who shared that. Jane, you shared it, right?
Yeah, I think that same video might be in here, but
that the Netflix one where the guy was protesting and they broke his sign.
Oh yeah.
They
break the sign though. They started saying he had a weapon.
You actually bring that up in here, but you got to hear what the other side was fucking saying. That's hilarious.
Oh, yeah, my favorite part was repent, motherfucker, repent.
Oh my god,
I didn't hear that.
Sorry.
I mean, somebody had to make that protest.
So here we go. Yeah.
Look, we'll watch it.
Let's take a look. This is not. I don't think this is where that video came from, but the video I think was incredible. Yeah. So here we are. This is one of the people at the protest down here in the video, but that's not what we're watching. Netflix employee walkout grows tense as trans right protesters clashed with Dave Chappelle supporters. Yeah. Okay.
All 12 of them?
Hundreds, they say. Hundreds of Netflix employees and supporters gathered.
Okay, no, wait. When did it become hundreds? Because they were reporting earlier it was dozens.
Yeah, tomorrow it'll be thousands.
Oh, yeah. I haven't seen dozens. Like I know we were fucking around saying dozens.
They literally said dozens.
Right.
Yeah,
you remember the way
Jane.
Well, the way
Go
the
ahead.
articles, the way the mainstream media always pushes articles is they'll sit there and they'll use the headline. That's where they push the agenda. The first paragraph then supports it. And then you really get to the facts, usually in the third or fourth.
Well,
See,
so
they repeat those first two things again underneath the picture just to make sure.
You got the message.
what they'll do though is they'll put it in quotations or in brackets, the hundreds, and say according to so and so,
Right.
hundreds showed up. So it's not them it's not the article or the publisher that's saying there were hundreds. They're just saying that they were told by this person or whoever that there was hundreds. So it still looks like there was hundreds, but there was not 100.
Right.
No.
Yeah,
but
nowhere there was hundreds.
And according to the article, hundreds of Netflix employees and supporters gathered in the shadow of the streaming giant's Los Angeles headquarters on Wednesday to protest Dave Chappelle's stand-up special, The Closer. But the event which was intended to showcase solidarity with the trans community, grew tense at certain points as protesters clashed with a vocal crowd of the comedian's fans. Now, that you know how what they didn't say is how many of the vocal crowd, how many there were. Notice that. Netflix has been embroiled in controversy since the comedy special debuted on October 5th, with employees and artists openly criticizing Chappelle for comments and jokes they deem transphobic and homophobic. Notice how they're not saying that they are, because they're going to get called out if they do. The Netflix office complex, a stone's throw from the closed ArcLight Hollywood Cinemas, saw dozens of passionate trans supporters waving signs reading Trans Lives Matter and transphobia is not a joke. Ashley Marie Preston, a media personality who organized the event, said that she and other organizers had invited Chappelle to speak to them and were rebuffed, of course, because you were just going to attack him and try to put him in a struggle session.
Right.
We were up against we are up against an emergent.
Take your time.
No, it is not me. It's this stupid freaking what the hell? We are up against an emergence of hate economy, said Preston. So
What does that mean?
I don't know. Who cares? And there is this manipulation of algorithmic science that distorts the way that we perceive ourselves and others. And I think that companies like Netflix, Facebook, and Instagram, they play into it and they monetize on it. And so I think that this is important to show up today.
That's bullshit.
None of that has anything to do with this argument. These people are bananas. I'm telling you.
Look,
What was the hate economy?
Yeah, I don't know what that
Yeah,
is.
and hate economy.
you know what I think? I think this is what happened. Netflix for a while listened to social media, and then they realized that social media is not the majority.
No.
So, but this is the same company that still has cuties out there. So,
Right.
Exactly.
you know, I defend if they took Dave down but left that up, you know, then I could never. I mean, I almost can't forgive him. I can't forgive him for cuties, but I can.
No, never.
Show them respect for what they're doing with Dave because
did.
they're sticking to their guns.
Hey, Scott.
I agree.
Not
Share
really.
my screen real quick.
What?
Share my screen real quick.
Oh yeah. What do we got? Dozens.
Was it dozens? Or was
Dozens,
it
hundreds,
Are they adding the
maybe
two
thousands.
groups together?
We don't know.
Right. That's funny. That is funny.
So stupid.
They're never gonna win.
It is. It's just
That's
Netflix
beautiful.
had a beautiful moment where they showed a spine, and for the first time in years, they're like, "We're going to treat everyone equally." This person burst into the office. No, you can't do that. You're suspended. A few days later, they're like, "The spine shriveled." And then you had Sarandos who jumps up and is like, "Oh, we made a mistake, but we're still supporting Chappelle, but we made a mistake." It's like they're trying to have their cake and eat it both ways. They're trying to tell
He's
us.
just proving Chappelle right.
I know it's like, please don't burn us down, but we still got to support this guy. But please don't burn us down. We're with you, but we're still over here with this guy. It's like, you can't do that.
Just real quick, Darren, my thoughts are with you, man. I know you've been dealing with that for a while now. Our friend Darren's going through a lot of stuff, and I just want you to know that I'm praying for you, buddy. And then we'll read Mr. Tickle Trunk for Canadian $5. I am a borderline bleeding heart. Robert De Niro is an angry mole person crying and yelling up his own arse about imaginary enemies. It's so freaking true. I'm going to punch you in your face. That's what he said. All right. Sorry about that. Thank you very much, though, Mr. Tickle Trunk. You rock.
Love him.
Let's read on there, my friend.
Okay. Counter protesters were also out in full. Counter protesters.
Somebody watching TV?
Not me.
Counter protesters.
Wait,
were
are we
also,
doing a bit?
No.
Sorry.
Counter protesters were also out in full force, bearing signs with messages like "jokes are funny" and "Netflix don't cancel free speech." At times, the situation threatened to devolve as counter protesters push up against trans speakers. One man's
That sounds
"jokes are
sexual.
funny" sign was ripped out of his hand by a pro-trans protester and split in half, leaving him with a stick and little else. Crowd members said he was wielding a weapon and
Dude.
asked for his removal.
See,
What weapon?
Jane, speak on that real quick, and then I'll follow you up on that
this
one.
is the classic white woman move.
Yep.
Karen.
He's
It's a Karen
threatening
move.
me.
Right.
No, it's
And-
exactly what happened with that guy in the park. Y'all remember with the dog?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
And she was basically, she had her dog off the leash. He complained to her about it. She calls the cops and says that he's attacking her. Meanwhile, he's video recording the entire thing
Right.
and nothing is happening.
That's because she
So,
was a
hold on.
nutcase.
Hold on, but wasn't there more to it? Like where he was like he actively had like snacks in his pocket. He came there prepared to find someone with the dog off the leash.
Well, that's
Like-
their fault.
Yeah, well, that's true
No,
too. By
the way I look at it is this. So on the, I'm sorry. Say what you were going to say.
I was just gonna say, like, I love it that he has this weapon, this devastating weapon that's so devastating that it didn't stop them from coming up and breaking it. Like, what kind of like weak ass weapon is this that he couldn't defend himself from having his weapon broken?
Yeah, but isn't that the same thing that they said last year? About a lot of people who ran into some place and said they were trying to take it over, but all they had were picket signs and flags.
Right, and they were asked to go in.
Yeah, they had pointed wooden things that
Yeah.
they could use as a weapon with giant fans that they could hit someone over the head with. It was very traumatic and devastating.
It really is funny how these liberals, they want to cancel the black gentleman, the comedian, except they're like going, equality. I'm like, you kind of realize what you're doing kind of is against what you,
And it's like toking white women. Like you're one away from being the worst, and you know it. Like you're this close to being a white male. You know what I mean? You're the white woman. Stop being idiots.
Bob Boris thing on that was so.
So the thing I have to say is I watched that video. So they had the picket sign, right? And the guy had the sign, and it's talking about Dave being funny, and it was a white male that broke it. And I'm talking the second he broke that dude's, first of all, he's breaking somebody's property.
Right.
The second he broke it.
That's an assault, by the way.
Right. And that's what I was screaming
And
while I was
destruction of
watching.
property.
Destruction of property and assault. As he broke it, the second it snapped, he didn't, like, there was not even a hint of like a moment of a heartbeat. He was like, he has a weapon. Like the man broke it with the intention of getting this guy arrested with a weapon. Like how
And
you can ruin
possibly-
somebody's life.
Possibly even getting him shot. I mean, see, that's one of the things that came up last year too.
Oh, he was
like, why are
black?
you calling the police? He wasn't black, but I mean, just
Oh,
saying,
he's fine.
you're
White on white
putting
crime.
people in a very dangerous situation when you're accusing them of either committing a crime or having a weapon in any state right now where everybody is already on edge at a protest circumstance in particular. So you have police, I'm sure, out there. You're calling them to the scene. You're accusing this guy of having a weapon. This could have gone south really quickly.
Yes.
Well, so a couple things on the assault thing.
Real quick. What is the sign of the patriarchy?
Yeah, it's a phallic symbol of
Phallic symbol.
of
The mighty oak.
Anyway, what I was gonna
The
say was like,
mighty
so
oak.
the assault thing, and mostly this may vary from state to state, but simple assault would be the unwanted touching of like someone else, right?
Yeah, you know
It
about
can
that.
be as simple as you just poking them, right? Well, yes,
And
because I
also
was a cop.
breaking
But
social distancing rules. I mean, let's be fair.
so if you're not making actual contact with them, you're grabbing their property. Destruction of property, absolutely.
Oh no,
But
he
I
threw
don't
his
think it
shoulder
would be-
into him. He like
Oh,
he
well, okay,
bumped
well, then
him to
that's
get
assault.
it.
Yeah, they
Well.
were physically assaulted.
There's video of it. You can check
I
it
know.
out.
I
Yeah.
would check out the video yourself. I know the guy and I don't care for him, so but I support his victory.
I'm curious, Mads, is there such a thing as, how people do air guitar, and when kids, how they like, throw their hands, if like they actually did that as like a air assault or something, like, can you just mess with
Like
someone?
an air assault?
Well, I don't know. Like I actually saw one. You know what I'm talking about?
Maybe Portland? I'm not sure.
Yeah, right. Like
But
triggering me, microaggressions.
I saw
yeah, I've
somebody
never heard
once do-
air assault. I love
I did.
that.
I saw somebody. It was in Seattle 2 years ago. And
Oh, there you go.
And the guy acted like he was a 5-year-old. Someone's coming in. He's like, "No, go away." He's like, "Assault, air assault." And I'm like, "That can't be real."
Air assault. No, this is a
Air
real thing.
assault.
I was just fucking around with the whole Portland thing.
No, it was hilarious. I'm like, I would
Oh.
never even call the police for that. I'd be like embarrassed. Like if that was my kid, I'd be like, "Please, he's not mine. Go
Yeah,
away."
no.
Well, we got to get through this article because the best part's coming up here.
Oh, sorry.
One more point, though. One more point, real quick.
Yeah,
It
yeah.
is ironic that some of these are the same people who are like defund the police, but
Yeah.
they
Oh, yeah.
want them to come and do something about this guy with a weapon.
Oh.
That's always the funny part.
Yeah.
Like, it's like-
The next
Yep.
paragraph is them basically explaining why they're protesting,
They'll
which we
walk
know
out.
why. And their whole argument is you have freedom of speech, but not freedom of a consequence, right? And then they keep going on and on about the transphobic jokes and all that stuff. You know,
he made fun of everyone. That's
Well,
the
exactly.
point. That's
Yeah,
the point.
No one was forced to watch it.
Right. But it was the point. If comedians, oh my God. That's the point of comedians. The point of comedians is to talk about things that we don't want to talk about or talk about just funny shit.
yeah. And then the next paragraph is about there was some employees, they weren't clear which ones were exactly all the time, and some of them didn't want to be interviewed. So
Why?
they just probably didn't want to get in trouble one way or the other. I'm assuming they were probably on one side or the other. They didn't want to be known to be on.
But see, nobody who went out there, those people who stayed in their offices and minding their own business and did their work are probably now going to be targeted by these people who went out there because silence is
It's true.
violence.
Now, that's the paragraph I wanted you to get to.
Okay.
Culture.
So the event attracted some high-profile talent, including transparent creator Joey Soloway,
Never heard of him.
argued that Chappelle's jokes crossed a line. Trans people are in the middle of a Holocaust. Holy
Oh my
crap.
God, there's like 30 of them.
That's what
What?
I'm saying. This paragraph
I don't
is
see any
full of
Nazis.
so much motherfucking crazy.
Yeah, Soloway said in an address to the crowd, he actually said this to people in front of
Yeah.
other people.
Yeah.
Apartheid, murder, a state of emergency, human
What?
bullying,
Human right crisis.
rights crisis. There's a mental health crisis. Notice how I highlighted that. There's a suicide crisis, a bullying crisis, a anxiety, depression, self-hatred state of emergency crisis. But trans people are also out here dreaming of
Yeah.
safety, dreaming of being alive, to be human, to belong, and to have some time, which is privilege.
First
Okay,
of all,
so-
that dude is like a cocktail of crazy, whoever wrote that.
Yeah, well,
Basically.
transparent
my
was a
thing.
big
Where-
deal there for a little bit. Go ahead.
but my point is this: where is this daily violence against trans
Right.
people?
Right.
I don't see it because I tell you, goddamn right, if it was happening, it'd be all over motherfucking Twitter every 10 minutes.
Yep.
So what happens is like the majority of this violence that they always try to reference, especially in the Black trans community, is normally done by a significant other.
I was going to say it's domestic
Whether-
abuse.
Right,
It's domestic
absolutely
violence.
right, but they will conflate that with violence.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what circumstance the violence happened in, because showing that there's violence is showing that there's violence. So there is violence. Thus, Dave Chappelle, his comedy sparks violence. But it's
how
really
do-
hard for me to consider like you're in this Holocaust situation when
Right.
like you are the only people that we're not allowed to talk about. You know what
Yeah,
I mean?
but
Like there are
dude-
so many rules in so many different places
Yeah.
that ban anyone from saying anything negative about you. How are you the ones that are like you're being lifted up?
They're
the-
But
pampered.
not
They're
even saying
pampered.
anything negative. You can't even. There's
right.
also you brought up Black trans women, but there's
Yeah.
also been this back and forth between Black trans women and Black women, and there was actually a debate. I think it was last week on Twitter where one of the trans internet superstars or whatever was going in on women and on Black women in particular. There's been a hostility
Yes.
that we've noticed
Yep.
coming from that community
And they get away with it.
toward women and
Yep.
those women who don't recognize them as biological women. They are so upset at that, the fact that we don't see them that way, or that we feel like they're trying to replace us in many ways. that
don't-
they
you just
see
had
that
Margaret-
as violence.
Come on, look, yesterday, or was it the day before, Margaret Atwood just got taken off the left pedestal. The one who wrote The Handmaid's Tale.
Oh
Right.
yeah.
You saw with that whole thing because she retweeted an article that said, "Why can't women be called women anymore?" And
Right.
everyone,
Because
and they just
men
all
do it
went
better.
They're like, "Oh, everyone went crazy."
I've never seen. Look, I don't care where you live. You're gonna bump into people of different genders, different ethnicities,
Belief systems.
how many people
systems.
belief systems, but how many, like, it's such a small community that has so much power right now.
0.001%.
Right. That blows my, like, I have to give them credit because whatever the power grab they made, like, we have China shooting hypersonic freaking missiles around the world, and we made like the first admiral transgender. Like, that's our
Yesterday.
biggest deal. That's our biggest deal. It's unbelievable.
And
I'm
he
sorry.
called out
It's
too
because they have
in the
guardrails
comedy
around them.
special, their hypocrisy surrounding the baby. Remember when he was just run off of social media? I don't think he's gotten any credibility back since.
Right.
And
No,
yet
was
he
yeah,
also
right.
said he killed somebody, and no one
Right.
had a thing to say about it.
Right, but that's why Chappelle was brilliant to bring that up. I mean, the way he hit it, it was like with a sledgehammer. He was like, "Look at the baby. His career went great, but the second you talk about he goes the gays, all of a
Right.
sudden he goes, oh, kill him."
Yep. Now, the one thing I can say about that article, that last paragraph, after the Holocaust and all that shit,
Yeah.
depression,
That
suicide,
shows their hypocrisy, right?
Right, exactly. And the funny thing is that stuff has been there before this transgender movement, and it's going to be there after. Transgender people have a high rate of suicide, pre and post-op. You know, it was a
why?
mental health issue up until just recently, and
Right.
now we are not helping these people anymore.
Right, because we're playing into the delusion. Transgender people, when they've looked at the actual studies, you know, some of them who go through the procedures later on in life, and then they want to reverse. What do they find in most of them by the time they hit their 20s? They were abused
Yeah.
as
Right.
children. So or they were gay and didn't want to deal with it, so they're like, "I'm going to change and I'm going to be something else."
Or
You don't go
they're
along
also
to-
finding out, George, that a lot have been on the spectrum.
the spectrum, exactly. That's where I was going. That's why I love you, Scott. You always
It's
No, but the
funny.
thing is, if you
Antifa
don't-
also
you
targets
don't-
the same people.
You do. Yes, you don't feed into a delusion. Could you imagine if someone came up next Monday and said, "You know what we're going to do? Every schizophrenic, they're not sick. They're just seeing into another dimension. So when the next person comes up to you and says, I want a bunny suit with a flamethrower because I'm going to go whack demons and dragons," you don't hand them a flamethrower and a bunny suit and go, "Yeah, go for you."
Yeah, it's unbelievable, man. It really is.
We're doing them. It's a disservice to. It's actually a sin that would play into the delusion.
Right. And for medical professionals, that's what blows my mind the most. You are to do no harm. And for us even talking like this, we can get knocked off of YouTube because we're saying, but I don't care because I'm allowed to have my views on it. I'm not saying I'm right, but I do find it like they're suppressing a incident that happened with a man's daughter. Well, with a man's daughter. Yeah. That's the same thing why Crowder got a week off, because they said he was making fun of people, but what he really was doing was talking about this incident too.
The story.
You know, and because they suppressed it, another girl got attacked by somebody in a skirt in a woman's bathroom. A high school girl. So, I mean,
But you talk about the doctors.
Yeah,
you
go
talk
ahead,
about
Jayne.
the scientists. The problem is that they've infiltrated that particular science too, psychology, and so you're producing books now and studies that question gender differentiation. Period.
Yeah, like I mean,
and
the
not
soft
only
science
that-
have become the hard science now. It boggles the
Exactly.
mind.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, soft science is even a stretch, but like I have talked about this before, like why we see it in so many different areas of life, you know, whether it be media, politics, the science, education, is because they were all taught under the CRT umbrella or CT in general umbrella in college. And now they have finally made it to the age and level in their profession
apex,
to have the influence not only on those below them, but also on those above them.
Yes,
the
they're in the
highest
perfect
up,
spot.
right?
They're in the perfect spot. You're right.
To implement this across the board.
So
and you're seeing that in every arena there is.
I'm going to read this one real quick and then I got to run upstairs, but I'm going to put up your article, Matt, if you want to run through that real quick, because that is interesting. Mr. Tickletrunk for Canadian $5. It's the same today as the religious right of 40 years ago saying violence on TV makes people violent. Also, half trans homicide are by their partners. By their own partners. I didn't know that either.
But I think that may be low. But by the way, on that last bit, it's kind of like, remember how, I don't know, people die on a motorcycle and they're like, oh, it's because of the coof, right?
Yeah.
It's kind of the same thing. Like, oh, like they slipped in the shower.
Oh, I know.
Anyway, so I guess because that is like a palate cleanser,
the
I
other
guess.
thing with the trans thing before we move on, and this is related but unrelated, like, there's some people who are starting to jump on the Chucky series, which I've been watching. I've seen the first 2 episodes now that are out.
Is it any good?
It is pretty good for the most part. There is a gay character in it. The main character is gay.
Wait, what show is this? I'm sorry.
Chucky. And people are making a big deal out of Chucky having a transgender son, which he has and has in canon since 2004. And there's a lot of people who don't know this because they just didn't watch Seed of Chucky. So they're jumping on this like it's a woke thing. It's like, no. That is part of the fucking story. In fact, I think they're actually making fun of how people view the trans community in the show, because there is a line when Chucky, he basically knows the kid's gay. He's like, I know you're gay. And he's like, and you don't have a problem with it? He's like, yeah, kid, I'm a murderer, not a monster.
That's a good line. That's a great
The whole
line.
thing is he's basically saying, yeah, it's fine. I'm a murderer. That part's okay. But God, no, definitely, I would never have anything against you being gay. I'm not a monster. Come on, if you don't get the joke in there,
Yeah, I do.
It's a good joke.
But the thing
That's
is,
really good.
The way it's written, the gay part only comes up periodically, and it's part of the story when it usually does, right? Like it's not a part of the story where it's like everything, and it's a brand new character in a pre-existing world, and all the other characters are still there. They're not changing any characters. This is picking up where the last movie left off. So like that aspect of it, I have no problems with. And so far, I'm invested in the story, and I'm curious to see where it goes from here. The last 2 episodes, the first 2 or so far, have been pretty good. They're actually on
what are you talking about? I'm sorry, I missed it.
Chucky the series.
Chucky.
Oh,
Where
is
is
it?
it at?
It's good.
Yeah, but you have to have seen all the movies.
Oh.
You cannot just go into it cold.
Oh, that's
Where is it at?
It's on USA and Sci-Fi, but you can find it's free on YouTube as well.
Oh, okay. What about the remake? Does that count into this?
No,
the one
that has
with
nothing to do with any of that shit.
By the way, I didn't think it was that bad.
I'm into my next Korean show, and it's called, I don't know if I'm pronouncing it right, Sisyphus. It's Sisyphus.
What network?
Wait, is he
it's on
pushing a giant
Netflix.
boulder up a hill?
Well, there
It's
is
not
a part.
Sisyphus.
Well, it is kind of close to that, though. You're right. Maybe that's how it's pronounced, Sisyphus. But there is a part talking about that. But it's kind of an interesting show. It's about, there's a badass girl in it. She is like one of the main characters. She kicks the shit out of people. But guess what? Guess what? She cries. She gets hurt. She needs her other, sometimes men to save her. Like
I'm back in.
I knew you would. Check it out. I really enjoy it. It's funny too.
Yeah.
By the way,
Mecca J is pointing out the joke I was getting at. The woke Twitter mod went ballistic. Yes, they did. There was people actually making fun of it, but they were writing stories about it like they were actually pissed. It's like, no, people actually got the fucking joke.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not alone.
By the way, you should read Albert Camus and his what he says about syphilis.
Sisyphus.
All I can say is this: I'm so sick and
Sisyphus.
tired. Like, I don't care if you're gay. I don't care if you're trans. I don't care if you're straight. I don't want to hear about your sex life. I don't care anymore. Can we just go behind?
As
But
long
the
as it's not a
problem is
woman.
The problem is that that's not good enough anymore.
No.
Shucks.
No, and
You know
that's
what it
the
is?
thing.
Morals. Go ahead. I'm
It is-
sorry, buddy.
Well,
it is
there's no
bullied and
power in
picked on the show, but he's not picked on and bullied because he's gay. He's picked on and bullied because he's just a geek.
Right. Perfect.
Like in and I know Channing Tatum is in hot water right now, but
I
21
can't
Jump
stand
Street when he punches the dude, he's like, "What? I didn't know he was gay when I punched him."
Yeah, that's right. And you know what? They were setting up the future, what it is, and they were so right in that. They were so woke. Like they
Community.
right? Right. But did we go over your little thing here?
Oh no, sorry, we got off on gay Chucky.
Yeah, I just
something.
wanted to bring that up to kind of put a close
I
on
love
the
it,
whole
dude.
transphobic thing, because there's a bunch of people losing it, and there's articles being written about it. It's like, if you actually go through the tweets, as far as I can tell, most of the people are being sarcastic, and they actually took it like people were getting
Serious,
upset by it.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Jokes are not allowed.
Not anymore.
Nope.
So this is from the director of The Marvels, the sequel to Captain Marvel, which is not going to really be about her that much. Anyway, so the director says, something I like to say a bit flippantly about Captain America is that the snap is all his fault. Because-
Flippantly.
yeah, because he was trying to do his best, trying to do the right thing. There is a world in which he's a villain, because at the end of the day, he should have just sacrificed Vision. He chose one robot's life, albeit a sentient one, over literally the entire universe. There's a sort of
that's because that's our
anti-hero
system, you know.
in that
They-
if you want to look at. Okay, couple things. One, she treats Vision like he's a Roomba,
Yeah.
right? Like, I mean, because he's sentient, okay, yeah, but
Big deal.
basically he's a Roomba.
Yeah.
And it wasn't the entire universe. I don't know if you've seen this movie.
Yeah, it's half.
Like, specifically half. They make a pretty big deal about how
It's
it is
huge
half.
point of the
Like,
movie.
It's a
It's
big
a huge point. Yeah. It's like it's the guy's vision and his life work to just do half,
Right.
not the whole universe.
They're criticizing him for heroics,
Right.
honor,
But they're
taking
also
a stand.
and protecting
Yeah.
people.
Heroes can't be heroic this day and age. If you want to be heroic, you have to be anti-heroic, so you can associate with them. So therefore, they can say you're a bad person because you like this person who was a villain.
Right.
Right, but what they're also
breaking down
doing
your
is
characters.
they're attacking the foundation of heroes and even our mottos as Americans, as we used to live, which is the fact that we protect the one innocent guy. You know,
Right.
it's like you want 150 people to go free rather than one innocent guy go to jail, or the one innocent guy to die. You protect him.
Right.
Otherwise, we'd be sacrificing people left and right.
Yeah,
It's
someone in the
subverting
chat has a
ethos.
perfect point. It's T'Challa's fault because he just didn't talk to Thanos.
Right.
If he just talked to him, it would have been fine.
It's
Technically, it was T'Challa's fault.
it's subverting ethos. You know, Plato spent so much time talking about these things about like what separates like good men. You know what I mean? Like what makes men good and moral, right? And it is just like whatever they can do to tear down those ideals that have been around since ancient Greece.
3,500
Because they
years,
haven't worked apparently.
Well, we've been asking this question since the beginning of civilization. Like, just even take the Dark Knight, the idea of the two fairies, and he expected that one of them would blow up the other, and it turned out it was a God-fearing inmate that threw away the charge and prepared himself for the afterlife by praying with others. Like morals used to mean something, and now it's like literally you are considered
sick.
Not even sick. You're not intelligent. If you believe in God, if you're a Christian, if you believe in just morals in general, you're the new hierarchy thinks you are not smart enough because you believe in good versus evil.
Right. That's because they've torn down religion for themselves and replaced it with the agenda. That's their cult. That's their religion. Think about it. That's why you can't have a critical conversation with them, because it's like attacking a religious zealot. There's no room in their frame of reference, because what are you going to do? The second they let in a piece of light, it's going to tear away at their foundation. They're going to crumble.
George, let me ask you a question. Isn't that remind you of some political ideology? Not capitalism.
Republican.
No.
Canadians. No, shit.
Not even fat. Well, close. Canadians lately. They are
communists.
Communists. That's
Communists.
it.
Real quick, like you can have morals outside of a religious framework.
That's why I separated it.
Like,
right. I
like
was
spa. Well, Spa talked a lot. I mean, that was one of their big focus. Spa being Socrates, Plato's, and Aristotle's, like a super band. Spa. Anyway,
what were you going to say, Jayne?
That's a real philosophical.
That's a real
joke.
terrible joke.
It's a good one.
So bad.
Say that you can also sort of see this through the lens of a continuing attack on gender as well and gender norms, because Vision was part of his family, right?
Yes.
And he's the head of that family. He's the protector. He's
patriarchy.
The patriarchy,
The
basically,
dad.
and exercise, acting as such. And this is a way to sort of undermine that and criticize that. He shouldn't have done that. He shouldn't have been in that position. And it's a subconscious thing that they're trying to communicate. And you see it through these sorts of statements and, of course, just in entertainment in general these days.
This guy's wrong.
Yes,
Yeah, of course.
well done.
No, I'll tell you why this guy's wrong.
please.
Because Doctor Strange says there's only one way this works.
Oh, and by the way, that's all relying upon whatever Cain wants it to be.
And that means everything
There's
had
that.
to happen the way it had to happen, or it wasn't going to happen.
Yeah,
Right.
That's
Wow.
what Doctor
melted.
Strange was saying.
The
So it
eternal-
doesn't.
Tom got it.
Yeah.
I brought that up, earlier too. Like,
Yeah,
the whole
not
Cain
smart,
thing.
though. Tom made
like
it sound
Loki.
smart.
Oh, geez.
Yeah, see, I'm smarter than you. No, I'm just kidding,
No,
man.
I
You
brought up
actually know
Spa.
a lot more about cool shit than I do. Like, you found a
Is
dick
his name
once.
Cain? I thought it was.
Cain.
Yeah, I think it's King. You're saying Cain,
Oh,
aren't
and I
you?
love that the
Cain.
Russos fucking called out Loki too for fucking making the Infinity Stones mean jack shit.
Oh, they were
Even that part,
pissed.
sitting in the fucking drawer like that. It's like, why don't you just turn him into a fleshlight or something?
Well, did you
know?
did you see how What If tried to bring it back a little, saying that the stones don't work the same in different multiverses?
Except for one
What?
problem is that Ultron was walking around doing the thing that they said couldn't be done with
Exactly.
that ball. I'm like, what? You just are contradicting yourselves, assholes. She brought the ball buster in there, and she's like, put the ball buster on. I'm like, oh, okay, it doesn't work because it's a different universe. Except
Look.
Ultron's shooting shit out of his eyes, and you're like,
Kang was not there at the beginning of time, okay? At the beginning of time, the stones were. The stones were there at the beginning of time. They are the essence of the universe.
Nah, bro. It was all Cain and his Cain buddies.
No, he wasn't born until 30,
No.
30
yeah,
whatever.
he was late. He's a time traveler. King the
Yeah.
Conqueror, yeah.
He wasn't there
Did y'all
at the
see
Big Bang.
Loki?
I saw
'Cause
Loki.
I'm pretty sure they're in charge of everything.
Well, no, they are now, but what I'm saying at that time, Justin Proper, at that time, it was these stones that even when you break them down, they're still there. They're still there, in atom form. So I don't know how they can't work and they could be paperweights in this multiverse. I don't know.
Imagine
One of my favorites.
how many
What
years.
was that?
That's my favorite.
What the hell
That
was that?
one's
Who is
great. I haven't
that?
seen that one.
I love that one.
Scott, who is that?
That's Stephen Walton.
That's
the
Stephen
author.
Walton.
Yes.
Okay.
The perfect thing to say with that picture, George.
What
Oh, I
the
didn't
fuck
know.
was
What
that?
the heck was that?
That was Stephen Walton too.
What?
Is that real or is that some fan
No, that's
bullshit?
Jonathan Kent kissing Batman.
That is not
No
Jonathan
way.
Kent.
No.
Back in the future.
No way.
That was Clark.
Exactly. That was the face
Yeah.
I just made.
Real quick, how many years have they been working on? Like, how many years was there this build up to the Infinity War?
10.
Like
10.
10 years, right?
Right.
And all of
Technically,
that.
like 5 or 6, but yeah, 10.
Okay,
Yeah.
let's say 10 because it sounds better.
Well, 2008 till 2000.
They introduced Thanos in
the Avengers.
Avengers.
yeah.
No.
So
I thought it was one
Yes.
before that. Okay.
No, in the Avengers at the end.
Okay.
Yeah.
He
they
turns
had-
around and he grins, and he's like weird purple looking guy,
You're
Yeah.
right.
rather than what they changed him into later when Josh Brolin came on board.
Thank
But
you.
anyway, my point was like, imagine the 10 years of work that you did building up to this epic thing. Just the time and the effort and the work and the sweat that you put in for it to just be for some dumb throwaway joke that some chick wrote because she doesn't have any better. Like, that was the funniest thing she came up with.
I mean, they did always state that they were only going to be useful in our own universe. That's the same way as it is within the comics and everything. But it was the delivery of it that I had the issue with,
Right.
where it was there like that. I mean,
There was
The
no
fact of the matter is
reverence. No reverence.
Yeah.
It's like you got a nuclear warhead. Okay, just because it doesn't work here, you should still treat it like it's a nuclear warhead. Put it on the fucking
None of
yeah,
man.
that
you got
shit
Loki
makes
running
sense.
around. He could just grab any one of them and go to a dimension where it works. Like, that's the
Right.
problem you have there.
Right.
Yes. he went to so many different places. If he would have just put a few in his pocket, he had pockets, or he.
I guess he could have keistered him like they do in the jail.
Yeah,
I didn't even
shove
finish
it way
Loki.
up.
I watched one episode and that was enough for me.
You.
Sorry, Grant.
What did you say, Grant?
I was just saying it's called suitcasing it.
Yeah, suitcasing it. Yeah, you didn't miss much with Loki, Tom. It was terrible.
No, all I had to do was watch Andre's review.
Oh, I love Andre.
I saw the first one and the last one. The first episode.
So bad.
So bad.
It is. You know what's the only thing and I'm not talking even Marvel. The only thing worse in the last 2 years for a series is The Watchmen. That's the only thing that's
I
worse.
haven't even watched Captain
That's a
Woke
train
and
wreck.
I still ain't watched Captain Woke and Cuckboy yet.
Oh God, that was terrible. Do better.
What?
I watched that. I just couldn't.
that one.
Yeah, it was just
Winter Soldier and
Falcon. They destroyed Falcon. I loved Falcon.
Falcon was one of my favorite characters. He was my YouTube avatar for going on nearly 10 years.
Yeah.
And everything that was great about him in that first opening scene when he's running with Captain America, and you see the friendship gets completely destroyed. And I mean, just on a basic storytelling, if you've got a character in there that's going around saying, "I'm no longer the Winter Soldier," don't call the series the Winter Soldier.
Right.
Like,
they destroyed Bucky too.
Yes, they did.
I can't stand what they did to him.
They really did, but nothing destroyed not only their own show, their own characters, but the entire universe within the first 15 minutes, like Loki. There will never be anything that can top as much damage that they did immediately.
That's where I agree with Gary, where he says like Loki should have been one of the best series ever. Him jumping around timelines, universes.
It should have been a buddy cop.
He should have been chaotic and not this lovesick. It just was. I don't even know what it was because I saw the first and the second and 5 minutes of the third.
I mean, that must have been one hell of a
should have been a
presentation.
Well, it should have been a time cop like buddy show. Him and Owen Wilson. Wow, because trying to solve these deviant, like almost like a what's it called? Like Law and Order, like a procedural, right? Yeah. Each episode, dude, they could have just went in and solved a different deviant crime or whatever. And
that's what we thought it was going to be.
I thought it was going to actually be a little bit like Midnight Run. Do y'all remember years ago Midnight Run? Robert De Niro and
was it De Niro? I thought it was
no, it was De Niro and somebody. I can't.
Yeah, the other guy.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah, that was a good one. I thought it was going to be more like a Loki Quantum Leap in a way, like. But yeah,
or Sliders.
Yeah, more like Sliders. You're right.
I've seen
well,
this.
something where he is
being remade,
basically ignored in the end of his own show.
Yeah, I know that.
Yeah.
I couldn't believe it.
He got punked. He got so punked.
Yeah, he was bent over and punked.
He wanted to bang himself, and he got fucking kicked out.
As soon as he and got behind her at the first sign of trouble.
Right.
Wow!
Right, he hid.
Oh my god! This is fucking Loki. He was pulling a motherfucker's eyeball out 24 hours ago, and now you have him hiding behind someone at a cloud of dust or whatever the fuck it was. Like what?
Think of all the people he killed in New York, and then all of a sudden he cries because he sees a movie of himself, and he's just a bitch.
He sees 3 or 4 other people of himself, and then they're talking about wanting to, take over the world, and he goes up to the lady, he's like, "Oh, monsters!"
Right. The only scene from that show I liked was the one scene where we see him use his powers when he stops that building from falling.
Yeah, but it's even better when old Loki. Right. She taught him.
That part. Like they had to undermine.
Yeah.
The best part was the gator. Let's just be real about this.
The gator, yeah.
I like boastful Loki. I like the Lokis. Like I was hoping for more of that type of stuff. And
Richard
old
Grant.
Richard Grant.
That was
look. I'd like to suggest a piece of entertainment that many of you have not yet seen, and you should. And a channel that you should be paying attention to, and you should. The premiere episode for George the Giant Slayer is now out. He already has 408 views on YouTube. He is almost at 1,000 subscribers. It's his very first video.
So we definitely need to spend this time promoting his channel.
Yeah, right. George, your comments
no offense,
is like
George.
is like an all-star commented list. Like, dude, I looked at it and I'm not gonna lie, little jealous. I was like, holy shit, George, that is awesome. I hate him.
I'm not a little jealous. I'm a lot jealous.
Yeah.
I'm
Bro,
beyond jealous.
Are you kidding me? I have
But the
been
problem is
stuck.
he kind of looks like me, so I can take a little bit of that credit. So
You got less hair.
I have been
wow.
stuck at 346 for months. How many times I've been on here with Gary and a giant chat of everybody coming over here. Not one person was like, "Yeah, I'll give them a subscription." I'll subscribe.
Kind
Not
of should
one
tell you
person.
something about your channel.
No, it's about you people.
Oh,
Y'all are holding me down.
my bad. Yeah, we're gonna close it out because right now Latino Slant has J 3PO drunk 3PO on as a special guest.
Joey.
So I want
Joey.
you guys to go over there. It's a
Raid 'em.
Sporking raid. Make sure you give me props because I have an ego problem. And I need validation. So
Yes. Yeah. His parking. He needs his parking validated.
I definitely
Thank
need
you,
my
Culture.
parking valid. So
Thank you, Culture, for saying that. I appreciate it.
Oh, dude,
yeah,
I was
are
about
you
to say it, but he stole it.
Thank you, Scott.
Like, it can't be me. I'm adorable. Like, I am awesome. Like,
Summer.
It can't be me. I'm telling you, like, Mama Susan is suppressing me. She is
Well, maybe
stopping
next
people.
time if you don't talk over Gary as much as
bullshit.
you and
Don't you put
Makini.
that on me. Don't you put that on me, Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby, that
I love
was-
you guys.
Oh my god.
All right, we're gonna close it out. George doesn't need any like outros because the man is blowing up. But I do want everybody to subscribe because he does deserve it. Mr.
so
Greg
close.
Gregory, Mr. Gregory, please subscribe to this man's channel right here. Can we put his link in the chat?
He's Australian.
Yeah,
So,
he needs it.
he needs.
And if
He's
one,
a person with an
I need to at least
advantage.
half the people who subscribe to George subscribe to me
yeah, just
because of tyranny and
right. And George, once you blow up a little bigger, please have me on your channel.
I don't know why I haven't been on there yet.
I know
I haven't done a live stream yet. When I
you
go,
already started.
Just dropped
You already
his first video. Man.
Calm down, Matt.
Matt,
Jesus.
really-
No, you got me worked up now, Culture.
Can we
Just
get
got
one
Matt-
person over to Mad Barber Entertainment or whatever the hell it's
Yeah,
called
just
now?
one.
Just one more person.
I spoke.
Okay.
We
Well,
also people don't even have channels yet for not having him on, so it's normal.
What are you at, Mad? You're
Finally
at
subscribe to him.
346.
3-4. Oh wow, the
I
webcam
think I
guy's
already
back.
was.
I blocked
Yeah, I'm
so
doing it
many
now.
of you people. I am not on there right now. Someone I got block user. Okay. Yeah, so
Oh, I'm
please
still subscribed.
I subscribe.
someone- All right, let's see. Hold on. 347. You're at 347.
Subscribe. As long as I know how to love, I know I will subscribe.
All right, don't forget about the
Long
raid,
as
people.
I know how to click. I know how to like.
I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight. Thank you again, Culture Casino. You've
You
saved
can
my
feel that.
channel.
You Culture.
Hey, man, you've
Yep.
saved my channel, and I
It's
appreciate it.
only Culture.
No, really, it's
We need Tom to sing us out with a Jaws song. Wanna go home? The Boston.
Oh.
I always
Show
forget
me the way to go home.
Oh boy.
I'm tired and I want to go to bed.
bed.
Well, I had a little drink about an hour ago and it went right to my head. Wherever I may roam, on land or sea or foam, you can always hear me singing this song. Show me the way to go home. Then the oh,
what were you gonna say?
then the shark comes and destroys the boat.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Scott, would you not subscribe to me?
Yeah, I'm subscribed to you.
No, now you are.
No, I got somebody else to subscribe to you.
Whatever.
Dude, I love your strangeness live stream.
I'm not doing this with you tonight. And fix my spork.
What are you
That's
talking
not
about?
what you told me, Scott.
I love you guys.
I have a gold
Good night,
spork.
everybody.
Why am I